after reacting to the marijuana that was in the gummies. The students are reported as doing fine now. The acting police chief for Chickasaw told Fox 10 TV News that parents and students should be very vigilant about consuming unknown foods that are given to them, especially in light of the flow of fentanyl and how a microscopic bit of that can kill a person. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Actor portrayal, based on a real patient experience.
I'm Mike. I'm a husband, proud father of two, work my butt off 6 days a week, some nights too. When my family or my company needs me to make it happen, I make it happen. But a few months ago, I started having trouble making it happen, in the bedroom. I tried some pills online, but they didn't work. Honestly, I thought about throwing in the towel on my sex life, but I'm not that old. I still want to enjoy intimacy with my wife. Like that poet said, I don't want to just go gently into that good night. So I went to Montgomery Men's Health. Got some lab work done, was prescribed some meds, and wow, it made it happen. I can't say enough good about them. They took care of me, followed up, and made adjustments to make it happen even better. I even learned I had low testosterone, which they were also treating me for. And I have never felt better. If I were you and you're like me, I'd give them a call today at 334-440-3663 or go to montgomerymenshealth.com. If you're like most guys, they'll make it happen for you too.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
After damning politicians uphill and down dale for many years as rogues, vagabonds, frauds, and scoundrels, I sometimes suspect that, like everyone else, I often expect too much of them.
Thank you, Dr. Pepper, and thank you, Chancellor, or Dr. Paper, and thank you, Chancellor.
They used to say Abraham Lincoln got the worst press. I said, there's no way he got worse than me.
If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by go. You know the thing.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
That's how you conduct yourself in a democracy?
What the hell are we doing here?
We are behaving the way a superpower ought to behave.
Well, our behavior has produced some crappy results.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. And yeah, we're behaving the way a superpower behaves, apparently, folks, in the world. So much going on in the news today, and as is now tradition here on News and Views in the afternoon, on Tuesdays, we have the one, the only Judge Andrew Napolitano on the live stream here. Hey, Judge, how you doing today?
Oh, great, Joey. Great to be on with you as always, my friend.
Now, I thought we should begin here domestically with Trump's legal woes. In particular, I guess we saw that $5,000 fine for violating one gag order, but recently Sidney Powell and I believe Jenna Ellis just flipped in this Georgia case. They pleaded guilty. When you look at the latest in Trump lawfare world, what are we seeing here?
Well, it's becoming a river, and it started out as a trickle. First Sidney Powell, and then Ken Chesbrough, and then Jenna Ellis. Now, Sidney Powell, as I understand it, was present at one crucial meeting. She has a tremendous amount of baggage. I can't imagine the government putting her on the witness stand. Trump's lawyers would have a field day cross-examining her. But Kenny Chesbrough is a very serious, highly regarded lawyer who was present at all of the critical meetings and who pleaded guilty not to a low-level misdemeanor like Sidney Powell, but to a very serious felony of orchestrating the scheme by which 16 electors were to claim, Republicans were to claim that they were the true electors from Georgia, even though they knew that Joe Biden had carried the popular vote in the state. Jenna Ellis She was on Fox a lot. We all knew her. I don't know anything about her legal skills or reputation, but Trump was crazy about her and very close to her. Look, this is the mafia model that the government is applying. You indict the foot soldiers and expect them to turn on the Godfather, and that is what is happening one after another thus far. So far, 4 people have flipped. One, the bail bondsman, and the other 3 lawyers. One of the lawyers, as I said, on the periphery, but the other 2 right there at all of the critical meetings. This has got to be very, very bad news for the president. Let me tell you how this works. Before you enter into these guilty pleas, you do what's called, it's an odd phrase, and I don't know the origin of it, queen for a day. Okay. The defendant comes in with his or her lawyer. They sit in a room with the prosecutor and 2 or 3 investigators. The people on the government side agree the queen, the defendant, can say whatever he wants and it can't be used against him. But if it's stuff that they're interested in, they're going to take it into account when they negotiate the plea bargain. So that means that the bail bondsman, name escaping me, Sidney Powell, Ken Chesbrough, and Jenna Ellis spent hours and hours in this Queen for a Day debriefing session recorded on a tape recorder, telling the government what they would tell a jury in return for a negotiated guilty plea. Whatever it is, the government wants it. And whatever the government of Georgia has, it will share with the feds. So expect that these 3 will be debriefed by FBI agents who will then recommend to Jack Smith whether or not they should testify in the DC federal case. The Florida federal case is just about the documents and Trump's alleged inability to keep secret materials to himself. But the DC federal case mirrors the Georgia case. It pertains to the same events.
Yeah, there's a lot there, and it's heating up as you're starting to see early polls come out with Trump and Biden, with also RFK Jr. and Cornel West in there. What a mess we're heading into politically. And real quick, you mentioned Sidney Powell's baggage. I always found myself going, well, I kind of like what Sidney Powell, because I didn't know a lot about her, do what she did with Michael Flynn, with General Flynn. And then when I saw her talking about this so-called Kraken, which Trump now claims he never believed, it was one of those things where I'm like, Sidney, if what you're saying is actually true, you probably shouldn't say it in public, that people are literally selling these votes behind the scenes to the highest bidder. But what happened to her? She seemed like, maybe I should have been wise to this earlier. She seemed like a pretty professional, competent lawyer, and it tried a lot of cases. How the heck did this occur?
You know, I don't know the answer to that, and I share your view. I never knew her personally, but I knew her by reputation as a not only competent but tenacious lawyer who enjoyed representing the underdog. But look, there's 2 ways that witnesses can help the government. One exposes them to cross-examination and one doesn't. So when the witness, also a defendant in the case, has pleaded guilty and has now become a witness for the government, when that witness has a lot of baggage, they don't want to put that witness on the stand, but that witness can help the government by pointing the government in the right directions. Well, listen, I'm a lawyer. I know why you can't use me, but so-and-so knows about this, and so-and-so knows about this. And Trump whispered this in my ear that you should know about. So she can provide both governments, the state of Georgia and the feds, with guidance in both cases without either of them putting her on the witness stand. But if they do put her on the witness stand, some of the stuff she said was just crazy, just off the wall. They would be unwise to put her on unless they just want some moments of levity.
Right.
At their own expense.
Now, also just historically, if it comes to mind, what's the biggest RICO case in our history? I know there are some high-profile names maybe come to mind, but in your mind, what's the biggest RICO case?
I can't tell you by name, but the person who used RICO more aggressively than anybody else and popularized its use for other prosecutors is now a defendant in this case. And that's Rudy Giuliani.
Right.
When he was the United States attorney for the Southern District of New York. RICO, we've been through this before, I think, which stands for Racketeer Influence Corrupt Organizations Act, RICO, also was chosen because the name RICO is an Italian nickname.
Oh, right.
Italian. So RICO was crafted in order to put the mob out of business. How to put the mob out of business? Okay, so-and-so is a mobster. We caught him ordering the extortion. He's gone away for 10 years. But that crime family still has $15-20 million with which to do whatever they want. So RICO came up with treble damages. So if the mob family extorted a legitimate businessman for $1 million a year, and a jury found them guilty of that extortion and the right statutes were triggered, like RICO, then the jury could extract 3 times what they extorted from the mob. 1 million from the businessman. 1 million would go back to the extortion victim, and the government would make the other 2. So RICO was written in order to put the mob out of business. And quite frankly, whatever you think of Rudy, he did almost single-handedly put the mob out of business in New York in large measure by using RICO. The other advantage to RICO is it's a civil as well as a criminal statute. On the civil side, you can extract these funds from your adversary without proving guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. RICO also bigfoots the statutes of limitations, which are either 5 or 7 years. RICO, it's 10 years. So it really is one of those things that was crafted to make it easier for the government to go after organized crime. Was Donald Trump the head of an organized criminal outfit? This charge in Georgia says yes.
Well, and we shall see.
The feds did not indict anybody else with him in the D.C. case because they're expecting to get their witnesses from their friends in Georgia.
Again, folks, we're talking to Judge Andrew Napolitano. You can always check out his podcast, Judging Freedom. I tend to watch on YouTube, but wherever podcasts are available. And recently on Judging Freedom, I mean, it's gone beyond Ukraine coverage to now what's happening there in Israel. And from the experts you're talking to, and there are many, are we walking into, let's say, the third world wars? I like that term because it could be a bunch of disparate regional wars that all of a sudden meld together like we saw already in the 20th century. But from the folks you're talking to, what are we doing here internationally?
We are trying to get Joe Biden reelected as a wartime president. I mean, he just is willing to fight these wars, and the United States right now is a sitting duck there. We have a $3 billion aircraft carrier sitting off the coast of Gaza with 2,000 Marines on it. That thing could be sunk in a heartbeat. We have another aircraft carrier in the Persian Gulf. Each of these aircraft carriers is surrounded by a bunch of other smaller ships. Has the Congress authorized the deployment of American troops to aid Israel? Absolutely not. Has it authorized the deployment of troops to aid Ukraine? Absolutely not. Has it authorized money to aid Israel? It hasn't. It's authorized $113 billion for Ukraine. But old Joe is sending boys there as well. What will the American public reaction be when those boys come home in coffins?
Right. And it really is unnerving. And then
did you know that special forces are on the ground in Gaza right now?
I suspected it. I heard Colonel McGregor confirm that on Tucker last night.
Yes. Did Congress authorize this? No. Can the president send troops wherever he wants? Absolutely not. Read the Constitution. Congress decides who to attack. The president decides how to attack. That's the basic rule of thumb, according to James Madison.
Well, and Israel being in a deep, deep situation here, it could be multi-fronts just in their behalf. But I really worry when I start seeing folks like Lindsey Graham over there in the Holy Land saying we're going to take Iran out of the oil business. I don't think it stops there with blowing up refineries.
Fortunately, nobody in D.C. takes Lindsey Graham very seriously, particularly when he attacks one of my colleagues for asking a perfectly legitimate question. I don't know what's become of him. He was once a rational senator and a rational lawyer and a judge in the military. But right now he's the prince of the neocons.
Yes.
He told Joe Biden to bomb Tehran, which is basically like saying, let's start World War III.
Well, and it's almost like Lindsey became more hawkish once Senator McCain passed. And it's weird. I've started to more and more, I've been on a big Shakespeare kick lately, that as much as the policy and the ideals and the arguments we can have, a lot of times this comes down to people's weird personalities and idiosyncrasies, right?
Sometimes justice is determined by the personality of the judges, and sometimes wars are fought by the needs of the politicians.
Right.
I mean, why does Joe Biden love war? Why is he bringing us ever closer to two wars, neither of which we can afford to fight? Because he believes that by running as a wartime president, like his hero FDR did in 1940, even though we weren't officially in the war yet, in 44, he will get reelected. And all of his many domestic deficiencies will be overlooked by the public.
Yeah, and there's one Biden line right after the withdrawal from Afghanistan. He's talking to George Stephanopoulos, and he says something to the effect of, after being pressed by little Georgie, that, hey, the chaos is priced into the decisions we're making. And it seems to be the mantra of his presidency right now.
What can I say? He does say odd things. We all have slips of the tongue, but he has an enormous power. It's hard for me to believe that a person as mentally challenged as he appears to be is able to exercise that power. And one often wonders, well, who's exercising it in his behalf? Who sent the 3,000 Marines there? Who sent the special forces to be on the ground in Gaza? I mean, we're helping special forces kill the Palestinian people. The Palestinian people are no threat to us. We're helping the Ukrainians kill Russian military. The Russian military is no threat to us.
And when you have
somebody saying this,
well, and I think it looks like it's Tony Blinken, or maybe it's Jake Sullivan. I think it's Blinken making most of these decisions, especially the way he's talking these last few weeks.
Well, it's dangerous because he hasn't been elected president, though the guy who has been elected president apparently believes whoever he spoke to last.
Well, we've got two of those like that in a row now, Dak.
Yes.
Well, yeah. I always appreciate your time, Judge. What's coming up today, maybe this week, on Judging Freedom?
Well, Colonel McGregor and Scott Ritter will be with me tomorrow and Thursday. I have Matt Ho and Karen Kwiatkowski, two relatively young, recently retired from the military regulars of mine. How does propaganda expand the war? And what chance do the Israelis have in an urban war? I mean, I was looking at the front page of the New York Times on Saturday, and I texted some of my friends. I could have texted you. Here are 4 young reservists training for urban warfare, Israelis, in uniform, going through a training exercise. 2 weeks ago, they were school teachers and accountants. 2 weeks from now, they'll be dead.
And some of the most powerful war poetry out there, folks, I've been reading more of it given the times, is the reflections on when everything was normal. So I would just say to the audience, say to anybody out there listening, cherish the normal, even if it might seem ho-hum, because a lot of folks look back when these sorts of things get started, and they long for just a boring, quiet day. And I worry we're heading into very rough waters here.
We are. And McGregor also claims that there are thousands of Hamas agents in the United States already waiting for some sort of a signal to do God only knows what.
Well, Judge, we got to stop meeting in these circumstances. I guess we don't have any control over it. But
no. Well, let me cross-examine Sidney Powell, and there'll be a lot of laughs. Did Hugo Chavez really send this message to you from his grave?
Some say the Kraken is real. Others say it's a mythical beast of their imagination. I appreciate the time, Judge, as always. And until next week, appreciate it, sir.
It's a pleasure, my friend. All the best to you.
Yes, sir. Again, folks, that's Judge Andrew Napolitano. Always great having him on the show here. More news and views in the afternoon. Well, after this quick break.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. If you're looking for waterproof carpet, hardwood, laminate, vinyl plank, or ceramic tile, call us today for your free measurement.
The fall sale is on, and there's never been a better time to upgrade your floors. During Prattville Carpet's biggest sale of the year, find deep discounts on Mohawk flooring for every room in your home, plus interest-free financing with approved credit. Get new floors before the holidays with huge discounts. Visit PrattvilleCarpet.com or call 285-8117 today.
Prattville Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
This is your roving reporter, and today I'm talking with a famous broadcaster.
Hey man, what's happening?
Now, I understand you radio people move a lot, is that correct?
Yeah, sometimes.
Well, how does this affect your taking care of your retirement money?
Oh man, I don't give that a second thought because my buddy David Ernest, he's my money man.
Your money man?
With the money plan.
I see.
So no matter where I go up and down the dial, David has my back, you know?
I'll bet you know some phone numbers our listeners could call to talk with David Ernest.
334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839.
And he has a website at retirewithernest.com.
Hey, you're on top of it today, man.
I also understand that you hold some sort of a record in broadcasting.
Yes. I was the first person to put together a show with myself, a duck, a chicken, and a goose. But it didn't last long. We got taken off the air.
Why were you taken off the air?
Too much foul language, man.
Oh, my.
So I wasn't crazy about that one myself.
O'Reilly Auto Parts' new Brake Best Select Pro brand raises the bar for the best aftermarket domestic brake pads and rotors available. For vehicle-specific friction formulations, Quiet-Tech noise-canceling shims, and stainless steel hardware, choose Brake Best Select Pro. Professional-grade brakes from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Doug. With Liberty Mutual, you can customize and save hundreds on your car insurance. But what to buy with those savings? Yep, I bought a sound effects machine.
Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com. Savings may vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
This is how you conduct yourself in a democracy?
You never want a serious crisis to go to waste. And what I mean by that, it's an opportunity to do things that you think you could not do before.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. We've got a full house here in the studio. Eddie Bader and Sky Mosley here to keep me company. How you gentlemen doing?
Wonderful, Joey. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Always great talking to the judge.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in these serious times. Yeah, and I almost I didn't write about this week because it's kind of an old story. But Coach Tuberville. We love him, right?
Love Tubbs.
But he's like, they're reading poetry on aircraft carriers. What the heck is that for our readiness? And the story comes from a young LGBTQ person where it was LGBTQ spoken word month. So, pretty much the same thing as,
Never heard of that.
all the great war poetry, right? But I would say to Coach Tuberville, anybody else that poo-poos that stuff, some of the most moving, insightful stuff comes from, say, the war poets, and it's a tradition that stretches back thousands of years. Now, I think it's also insulting to say the latest modern-day thing, like this sort of ham-handed propaganda push of a particular group, is exactly up there with some of the greats, but, we'll see.
The great poet warriors.
Right.
Of old.
Well, I guess you could
Nothing wrong with
throw Wilfred Owen in there. He was LBG too before it was cool.
Oh.
Anyway, it really is unnerving when you see these reports that. Remember George Papadopoulos?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Papadop.
Here's what he put out, and I think he's right. The largest fleet of warships NATO has ever assembled is gathering in the eastern Mediterranean Sea. In addition to 2 U.S. carrier strike groups and an amphibious assault force, several other warships from other NATO nations are joining in its ranks. This is not directly about Israel. This is not directly about Palestinians. This is about stoking the flames of World War III in an election year to distract from every failure imaginable by this regime. You just heard Judge Napolitano say it. I agree when I see George Papadopoulos write about it on Twitter X. Hold on to your butts, folks. Hold on to your butts. But there's also plenty more going on in the world. Number one, in terms of Alabama-based stories, looks like Gary Palmer, we announced he's running for speaker.
Yeah.
He's now dropped out.
Right.
That was quick.
I think before they even voted.
Yeah.
He's dropped out. And what was Gary's reason?
Going to spend more time with his family?
No.
Good guess.
No, that wasn't his reasoning. He said something to the effect of, what we don't need here is just an argument over persons and personality. We need to agree on a set of principles and then find the person that's going to fulfill these here principles.
Somebody told him to sit down and shut up.
So here are the Palmer principles. Let's see if we agree with them. It's a push card, actually. Bringing stability back to the House of Representatives. Palmer's 5 points are, number one, fund the government on time with all single subject appropriations bills passing the House by June the 30th. Actually, I agree with that. It's a good principle,
Score
Gary.
one.
Number two, real spending cuts, not budget gimmicks. I agree with that.
Score two.
No short-term continuing resolutions. Here, Gary. Congressman. Number four, enforce the true 72-hour rule, allowing members and the American people time to review legislation. I agree with that. Number five, unite the Republican conference before going to the House floor. Well, they're not quite united yet.
No wonder he dropped him.
Because they have been voting behind the scenes. I agree with all of Congressman Palmer's points there, but this has been the sticking point that there isn't large agreement out there. But it appears that Austin Scott is now out on a third GOP speaker ballot, and Tom Emmer, he's currently the number 3 Republican. If it was McCarthy and Scalise, then it was Tom Emmer. He's the majority whip. I wonder how many think pieces have been written about that sort of language. Majority whip, whipping people into shape. Really?
That's got to go.
Yeah.
But Austin Scott has been eliminated from the House GOP speakership ballot as Majority Whip Tom Emmer continues to win a plurality of votes. Emmer, who topped 100 votes for the first time, is inching closer to a majority of the 221-member conference. Republicans will now begin a fourth ballot. The Minnesota Republican has continued to build support, though it is still unclear if he could get 217 on the floor, the same problem Jim Jordan of Ohio faced last week. Here's the third round vote tally from behind the scenes, according to a person familiar with the secret ballot results. Number one, Tom Emmer with 100 votes. Number two, Mike Johnson of Louisiana with 43 votes. Byron Donalds bringing up third place with 32 votes. Kevin Hearn of Oklahoma with 26 votes. And Austin Scott with 12. So Scott is out, and what they're doing is if you're last, you got to get out. With all these names in the hat, if you
That's the
finish
only
last.
thing that makes sense about the whole process.
Now, 3 members voted other, and 3 more voted present.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You know, of those 5 names right there,
Yeah,
I would be happy with Byron Donalds or Mike Johnson.
sure.
I'm not a huge fan of Emmer, which probably means Emmer's got this thing.
There you go.
Yeah, if I like somebody, it's kind of a death knell. Like, it's a curse. If I like you in politics, you probably aren't going to go far.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on in the speaker's race. Gary Palmer pulling out early, which
I wish
is...
we could encourage them all just to go home. Is there a way to do that?
I'm
They
your
haven't done a damn thing for us in
brother.
how long, and we're sitting here celebrating like they're doing something now.
But the uncertainty of all this, Eddie, the chaos.
You know what?
It's
I would
killing
be
us.
I would feel a lot more certain if they all turned in their resignation notice and went home today than I feel right now with them being in charge.
Anarchy.
No, it wouldn't
In
be
D.C.
anarchy. I think it would be some shock to the system, but I also know other leaders would step up and run these jackasses out.
Well, you know who's
I'm
going
just
to
sick of
win.
them all.
Didn't McCarthy make a list when he was sworn in?
A list?
Yeah, he had to make it. You're required. The speaker is required to come up with a list of his
successors
top
would be, I guess?
successors. Yeah. And I believe the current leader
Emmer
was his second choice.
Right. Well,
So-
because you got a few, say, lieutenants there, a few deputies working for Kevin
Yeah,
McCarthy. So you got that nerd, McHenry of North Carolina. And you've got Steve Scalise. You've got Elise Stefanik. And Tom Emmer is another one. So we'll probably,
Take your pick.
Right.
Same as the old boss.
Right. I mean, it's exactly.
And it's funny. It's an old rule. No matter who you vote for, you end up with George W. Bush or Hillary Clinton.
It's like when Mo tells you from Three Stooges,
yeah,
pick a finger. It doesn't matter which finger. You're going to get poked in the eye.
Right.
Right.
Now, if you say pick a finger, what happens?
I usually say pull my finger. That's my finger.
Oh, all right.
That's my joke.
And what happens after I pull it?
Usually a sound of some sort.
A sound? Well, that's just childish.
It is.
We got to be a little less juvenile here on the show.
Gentlemen.
272-9228. Hey, Sky Mosley,
Yeah.
tell us about the Alabama Gazette.
The big day approaches. Yes, the Alabama Gazette will be celebrating their 24th anniversary Thursday. That's the day after tomorrow. For those of you scoring at home, the Alabama Gazette is, of course, your hometown conservative newspaper. God, family, country, that's the Gazette banner, has been for almost 24 years. And we're going to celebrate Thursday. Lunchtime, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at their beautiful downtown offices, which are number 12, East Jefferson Street, very close to Biscuit Stadium, downtown. I'll be there. Come on down and have some fun, have some food, celebrate with the Alabama Gazette crew and myself, and I'll even have some free radio swag to give away as well. So you don't want to miss that. So please come on down and party with us a little bit at the Gazette headquarters. That's 12 East Jefferson Street, downtown, close to Biscuits Stadium. Lunchtime, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. The Alabama Gazette, your conservative hometown newspaper.
This part of the program are also brought to you by Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group. And there at the Goodson Group bonus team, well, they're ready to help you. And I'm telling you, folks, Bo has a truly unique understanding of the River Region real estate market. Because, he's been helping buyers and sellers in this Montgomery and surrounding areas for over 4 decades, 40-plus years, working here in the River Region real estate market. Not only can Bo help you with buying or selling a home, if you want to rent out your home, it's a great idea in this market, a rental investment. But it can be a pain in the butt to do yourself. Why not? For a reasonable fee, have the Goodson Group take care of it for you. And then the crown jewel there at the Goodson Group, this is where Bo's 40-plus years really comes into play, is the Bo Goodson Real Estate School. They meet every Thursday night, again, for a very reasonable fee. And whether you're looking to be a licensed realtor after you go through the course or just a more knowledgeable private player, I can't think of anybody better than Bo Goodson. It's a very interactive course, and again, that 40 years of experience he's teaching you from. He's been through all these scenarios, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You can learn from it all and hit the ground running, finding success. So check out the Goodson Group today. You can always go to thegoodsongroup.com. That's thegoodsongroup.com, or give them a call at 551-0225. That's 551-0225. Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. Great sponsor here of News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. What's with all the off-air, combos? Anything interesting?
People like the way you look today.
People like the way I look today? Who said that?
Sam. It wouldn't be a good day for farm work for you, Joey.
I don't keep dressing like this then, because I don't want to do farm work.
Darn it.
Certainly not with Sam sipping a cool lemonade on the porch making noises at me. That's just odd.
He wouldn't be making noise. He'd say, hey, boy, pick that up over there, boy.
He's going to be silently doing that. Right. How about this? Let's hit a break. More news and views in the afternoon after this.
I like to do it at night when people aren't around.
Joey Clark.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Actor Portrayal, based on a real patient experience.
I'm Mike. I'm a husband, proud father of two, work my butt off 6 days a week, some nights too. When my family or my company needs me to make it happen, I make it happen. But a few months ago, I started having trouble making it happen, in the bedroom. I tried some pills online, but they didn't work. Honestly, I thought about throwing in the towel on my sex life, but I'm not that old. I still want to enjoy intimacy with my wife. Like that poet said, I don't want to just go gently into that good night. So I went to Montgomery Men's Health. Got some lab work done, was prescribed some meds, and wow, it made it happen. I can't say enough good about them. They took care of me, followed up, and made adjustments to make it happen even better. I even learned I had low testosterone, which they were also treating me for. And I have never felt better. If I were you and you're like me, I'd give them a call today at 334-440-3663 or go to montgomerymenshealth.com. If you like most guys, they'll make it happen for you too.
The holiday season is quickly approaching, and what better way to spread joy than by giving back to those in need? We're calling on all of you, our generous listeners, to make this holiday season extra special for those who might be struggling. Join us for our annual holiday food drive benefiting the Heart of Alabama Food Bank. It's simple. Just gather those non-perishable food items like canned goods, pasta, rice from your pantry, and drop them off at any of our convenient sponsor locations across the river region. Together, we can make a difference. Together, we can feed families in need this holiday season. Starting October 30th, bring your donations to ASC Credit Union, Ask Telemarketing, GFL Environmental, or Pershing's Chiropractic Clinic. Donate what you can. It's Blue Water Broadcasting's annual holiday food drive.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Our drought continues to expand. It could be several more days before we get some rain. But in the meantime, we're warm for late October with a high today and tomorrow in the lower 80s, lots of sunshine. Clear skies tonight, low 56. We'll be in the low to mid 80s on Thursday and Friday with more sunshine and continued dry this weekend, highs in the mid 80s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors & More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors & More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
The River Region's first and only News Talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Sky Mosley across the desk from me.
Rock and roll.
And let's go to the phones and talk to Red Top. Hey, Red Top, how you doing?
Hey, good afternoon. What a beautiful day, gentlemen.
Yes, it is.
And ironically, last night I was watching Johnny Carson, October 9th, 1987, and guess who they were talking about? Joe Biden running for president.
Oh, my.
Oh, and that was the campaign cycle where he was found to have plagiarized some British politician.
Yes.
Yes, and the one where all the preachers were running. Joey, some of these monologues are worth watching. Johnny Carson is so funny about these guys, and it's all true, and it's amazing how little things have changed, if at all. Unfortunately, I think you and I are in the same club in another area. Being the libertarian, St. Bede Catholic types, I'm always campaigning and voting for the loser, too. I don't know if there's any hope for us types, Joey.
Badge of honor these days.
No, we could be the conscience of the nation. I'm sure that's how folks will think of us. Yeah.
I'm getting tired of the damn badge. I'd just soon take it off, to tell you the truth.
Right.
Well, Red Top, I think from my many years of talking to you, and I agree with you, even agreeing with you on all this stuff, I think you fit the bill of a gadfly quite well.
Wow. Is that better than a curmudgeon?
Oh, yes, yeah. A gadfly actually can sting. A curmudgeon just goes, bah.
Well, Joey's got his creatures down, that's for sure. And I'm glad I'm slowly moving up the ladder here, which I'm about to go up because the ladder's the safest damn place in Montgomery as far as I'm concerned. Don't walk across the Lowe's parking lot.
You ought to know.
I'm much safer 30 feet up climbing up walls. Joey, my right wrist is almost shattered. It's going to be a couple months before I can play again.
Really?
So,
that's a shame.
yes,
I'm sorry,
sir.
man.
And it's from tripping on something in the Lowe's parking lot. And the whole weight of my body came down on the inside of my left wrist. It was purple immediately. So be careful with your hands. And I told Greg, please get some knee and elbow pads when he's riding his bike, because asphalt don't give up. Now, may I take a little extra time here just to talk about the Five Eyes that I saw on 60 Minutes. This would be head of intelligence, and for some reason, Chris Wray was representing. It wasn't the CIA. No, it's the FBI that's one of the Five Eyes, and so it's them and British intelligence, Canadian, New Zealand, and Australia. Those are the Five Eyes, and they're all complaining about China.
Oh yeah.
That's all they're talking about. But, China's doing business and buying land and buying companies and parking factories next door to Air Force bases. So, like, why is that happening to start with? But here's what struck me the most about Chris Wray, which we know who is the ultimate scumbag that should have been fired a long time ago. He goes, well, the Chinese, here's one example. There was a representative in Montana, and the Chinese started publishing stuff about him that wasn't true to hurt his election, and even made up some stuff. This is Chris Wray talking about the Chinese. You know what I did at that point? I changed the damn station. It infuriated me. It's exactly what he and all his buddies did to Donald Trump. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, he's on 60 Minutes talking about how bad the Chinese are. I'm sorry. We have one of the most corrupt governments in history, unfortunately, and I hate that I even have to say that. And that goes from the fish rots from the head down. And finally, I do not think that Joe Biden would be elected because we're in war. I even think people wouldn't even want him for that. He's going to try to pull a George Bush on us maybe and stay in office because there's a war in progress.
Right.
And I hope it doesn't get to that. Better not. And Judge Knapp was also awesome as always, Joey. Thank you very much, guys. Y'all have a great afternoon. Roll Tide, go Trump.
Roll Tide.
Appreciate it, Red Top. This part of the program brought to you by Sweet Creek Farm Market, and the Pumpkin Festival is still on. I don't know if you folks got out there for the first weekend, but I was just scrolling through their Book of Faces page. Yeah. Just search Sweet Creek Farm Market on Facebook. And you can see all the vendors that were there.
Oh, cool.
And they're going to be there again. They are going to have pumpkins, of course. Now, just to remind you, $10 dinner. 2 and under are free, but $10 to get in and get a wristband. And there's going to be hay rides, inflatables, like bouncy castles.
Oh, yeah.
Those are for the kids, Eddie. Those are for the kids.
What about the face painting?
That's also for the kids, but they will have face painting.
Excellent.
new smaller children areas. So maybe if you do have those kids or toddlers real young.
Or short like Joey.
There's going to be stuff like that. Yes, thank you for that, Eddie. And of course, all these vendors, like we mentioned, food, great, delicious food. It's always a great time to go by Sweet Creek for food.
Yes.
Good eating. And of course, they're going to have games with new fun surprises, a cakewalk, and all wristbands receive a pumpkin.
That's so cool.
All wristbands receive a pumpkin. Now, this happened this past weekend, but we're doing it again this next upcoming weekend. I believe 10 to 5 there at Sweet Creek Farm Market. And I'm scrolling through and look at some of these great vendors, and I believe there's something to do with the pup in your life, with the little dog.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, they have a costume contest.
Yeah, Camp Bow Wow Costume Contest. Saturday, October the 28th, 11 a.m. at Sweet Creek Farm Market. Stop by the Camp Bow Wow booth by 10 a.m. to enter your pup into our second annual Halloween costume contest. And it looks like there's a little dog with a Viking helmet on.
Oh, yeah. That'll be worth the price of admission right there.
That's pretty awesome.
That is.
It's always fun to dress up the little pups. But so plenty going on at Sweet Creek this weekend with the Pumpkin Festival. It feels like fall, folks, especially in the morning. So if you get there at that 10 a.m. start time, well, it's going to be a beautiful time. Great thing for the family, for the kids, or maybe you just love the atmosphere on your lonesome. So check it out, and be sure to tell Reed and Karen Ingram there at Sweet Creek that Joey and Sky and Eddie from News and Views in the Afternoon sent you. Enjoy Pumpkin Festival, folks.
That'll be a blast.
More News and Views after this very quick break.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Hey guys, are you looking for a professional and reliable tree service company in the Montgomery and surrounding areas? Well, check out the folks at Tree Masters. It's a name you know and trust. From pruning to full tree removal, they'll even help you remove your shrubs. They service all of central Alabama, including Lake Martin and Lake Jordan. Call them for a free quote today at 334-676-3638. That's 334-676-3638. Tree Masters.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. Looks like I might be here for more than 3 hours today, but we'll see.
Joey? So it's starting to sound that way.
Yeah, it is starting to sound that way, but I'll survive. I've done it before. And I can do it again.
Yes, you can.
Maybe not as good as I used to.
What a trooper.
Maybe not as good as I used to. But
I'll get him next time.
Now, there's all this conversation and talk about, voters in House District 55 elect Alabama's first transgender lawmaker. Wait, I'm looking at a photo of 2 people here underneath the helmet. Which one's the transgender one?
I can't tell. It's I'm going to go with on the item on the left. Did I get it right?
I don't know.
Let's find out.
It's still a mystery to me. And that's what life's all about, folks. Those mysteries that are irreducible. But Alabama could have its first openly transgender member of the House of Representatives. I love that, by the way. Do we have any in the legislature that are currently closeted?
We don't really know.
I'm not looking to out anybody. Like, if you're in the closet, you might as well stay in it.
Sure.
In this political climate, if that makes any sense. Actually, do what you want. But I always love that distinction. Like when they said Kyrsten Sinema from Arizona, she's the first openly bisexual member of the United States Senate. And you're like,
yeah.
How many do we have before that were closeted?
Right. I'm pretty sure there's
several.
Not the first.
But the special election for House District 55 will be decided in a runoff vote between two Democratic candidates. Without a Republican in the race, the winner of the Democrat primary will go on to represent District 55. Well, that'll be interesting to see.
How many percentage points does transgender get you in that district, I wonder?
I don't know, because it includes downtown Birmingham and other suburbs just west of Birmingham.
Okay.
Such as Fairfield.
So it's an asset, clearly.
So candidates Travis Hendricks, who won 27.9% of the vote in the Democratic primary, and Sylvia Swain, who won 21.45%, will go head-to-head to fill the vacant seat. The seat became available after former state rep Fred Plump Jr. What a name, Mr. Plump. He pled guilty.
He got a little too plump in the business.
To conspiracy and obstruction of justice and a money siphoning scheme involving a public works fund in Jefferson County.
And he was a politician?
What wonderful people!
Jefferson County, that's one big corrupt place up there, man.
Yeah,
remember all the sewer deals and all that up there? Yeah.
I don't know how this state gets held together.
Really?
Like, seriously, when you go to, like, South Alabama, true South Alabama right there on the coast, very different than this part of the state.
I'll go up north.
And then you go, Birmingham's different than here. And then you go to Huntsville, it's like a different place completely.
Yes, it is. But you don't think they have corruption there?
I think they have more. All that money floating around, all those contracts.
Just cover it up better, they don't call each other out on it so much.
So we'll see. Although Swain has no political experience in the state, he beat out 6 local Democrats in the primary. Much has been made of Swain's status as transgender, receiving coverage in Teen Vogue and Newsweek.
Wow. Well, finally we can arrive.
And Swain has also received tens of thousands in out-of-state contributions from several LGBTQ organizations funding that campaign.
This is just the thing to make the conservative liberal media really start to love the state of Alabama, I think. This is a turning point.
I kind of like it the way it is.
Okay.
But I wonder, you know all the Bubbas out there, Eddie. You know a few too, Sky. I know a few myself.
Sure.
A few Bubbas, a few Hayseeds.
Rubes.
Hicks.
Clod kickers.
It's just too much fun.
I know.
Because I come from a long line of these folks.
It's ironic. You two guys from Alabama are calling somebody else rednecks.
Well, that's the irony of it.
Yeah. The irony is the point, big boy.
I see.
Yeah, we're going to start calling you Little Eddie.
Call me Stretch.
Stretch. No, but how many Bubbas yada would know that was a dude?
I would go with maybe 3 out of 10. And that's because those 3 had a bad experience.
And at the end of the... No, but actually, hey, okay. Out of those 3, how many of those Bubbas you think actually were like, this is fine?
I would say 2 out of those 3.
Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you, as these things go, and they have, the magazines and the best...
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That is pretty good, but...
That's not bad. I mean, I couldn't tell.
Powerful neck there.
Well, one thing I'm worried about now...
I see it now, Eddie. Adam South.
One thing I'm worried about, though, is the like transgender treatment inequality and inequity. Like, if you got a bunch of money and you want to do all this stuff, you can put a bunch of money into it and have all these changes done. But what if you're poor and you want to transition? It's just not fair.
We need a government-sponsored bill.
Right.
Oh, Lord. Hush. Right. Hush, Sky. Hush.
The unfairness of it all.
How about this? Let's hit our top of the hour break. More news and views in the afternoon. Well, after this.
Joey Clark.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Israel launching 400 airstrikes over the past day, killing Hamas commanders, hitting the terrorists as they were preparing to launch rockets into Israel. The UAW ramping up the heat on General Motors as 5,000 workers walked off their job at a highly profitable SUV factory in Arlington, Texas. The Texas strike now brings the total of UAW members that have walked off their jobs to 46,000 in a series of strikes that is entering now its sixth week. And Tropical Storm Otis is forecast to become a hurricane before making landfall near the resort of Acapulco late Tuesday or early Wednesday. On Wall Street, the Dow is ahead 96 points, and the Nasdaq adding 31 points. This is SRN News.
Donald Trump's indictment proves that saving America is not going to be easy. There are entrenched powers that are fighting this with everything they've got. They want to keep control over the country, the narrative, and the nation's money supply. Hi, I'm Lance Wallnau. I'm a news analyst, a Christian author, an evangelical leader. I speak to millions of people every week, people just like you. You see, what the elites are doing is using inflation and government handouts and now central bank digital currencies to determine how they're going to control America. And that's why I recommend all Christians start a gold IRA from the Birch Gold Group. Because physical precious metals are one of the few ways you can maintain control over your own savings. To get a free info kit on gold IRAs, text the word FAITH to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and you'll see why a gold IRA can help you. There are no strings attached. Text the word FAITH to 989898 and you're going to be blessed by taking action right now.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where dump truck drivers are in demand. Wiley Sanders is on the grow. We need dump truck drivers now. Call 855-77-9785.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Our drought continues to expand. It could be several more days before we get some rain. But in the meantime, we're warm for late October with a high today and tomorrow in the lower 80s, lots of sunshine. Clear skies tonight, low 56. We'll be in the low to mid 80s on Thursday and Friday with more sunshine and continued dry this weekend, highs in the mid 80s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
At ASE Credit Union, financing your next adventure is easier than ever with rates as low as 5.25%. Apply online or visit your local branch today. Federally insured by the NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
ASE Credit Union. Your life, your goals, your ASE.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. Montgomery police are investigating two shootings that happened over the weekend. A man was shot in the Todd Road, Coliseum Boulevard area Friday night, taken to the hospital for treatment. The second shooting occurred Saturday afternoon in the 5600 block of Villas Circle, where a juvenile was shot. The capital murder trial of William Chase Johnson is set for October of next year. Lowndes County Sheriff Big John Williams was fatally shot 4 years ago at a gas station in Hayneville. Johnson, who was 18 at the time, was later taken into custody at that same gas station. The trial will be held in Macon County. Scooter Anderson and the crew of the Best Trait out of Orange Beach hauled in a blue marlin that, once certified, will shatter their current state record and set a new Gulf of Mexico record as well. The marlin weighed in at 1,145 pounds, nearly 300 pounds more than the current Alabama state record. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Exit Realty is growing. Exit Realty focuses on everything it takes to make a real estate office successful and provides opportunity to brokers and agents unlike any other real estate brand.
Training, technology, an opportunity to earn an exceptional income and even retire and leave a legacy and benefits for your family. Interested in a great real estate career? Text BAMA to 85377 to learn more. That's BAMA to 85377.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Getting word out there, Eddie, that there's a fire out east, that Montgomery's looking a little smoky today.
Is that right?
Yeah, it must be big enough to where it's kicking up a lot.
Well, there was one I know north of Kim's this morning in Titus, so. Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, we have Amber from Shaw's Garden Center here in the studio with us. How you doing, Amber?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Doing all right. You said did you see some of the smoke?
Yeah, it was pretty smoky coming this way, yeah.
Man, it must be a massive fire then.
Where was it at?
This guy texted me, said out east Montgomery.
Okay. That would make sense because it's towards that direction.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Really? Yeah, it's always when you see something that big, a big plume, you're like, what is going
Plus, it's so
What's
dry right
going
now.
on?
Last
Right.
kind of thing we need.
But let's remind folks about Shaw's Garden Center.
Right. We are at 3295 Wetumpka Highway. We pretty much, if you can think of doing it outdoors, we do it. Right now we have fall flowers out. This weekend I'll be putting out winter crop flowers. We have cabbage, broccoli, kale, if you're wanting veggies.
All right.
So we're doing a little bit of everything.
Wait, so people can kind of grow their own?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. I've never even thought about
In
that.
this day and time,
It's a
you're
good
crazy
crop.
if you're not growing your own.
No kidding.
Because
No
I thought
kidding.
kale just came in a bag where rich
No,
upper class
not
white
just
women
at the
shop.
salad bar either, Joey. They actually grow it.
We got collards too. Collards too.
There you
Yes.
go.
Yes, Georgia collards. Good collards.
I've got some friends that will like die for a good bowl of collard greens. Like a little bit of that hot sauce, or they do that like pepper sauce with the things, the
There you
little
go.
pepper still in there, that
Mhm.
vinegar
sauce,
pepper
baby.
sauce.
And I actually still have peppers down there that you can buy too.
Is that right?
I do. Mhm.
Excellent.
And is it? This is a dumb question, but is it better when you're picking it out of your own garden?
It is. It's so much better.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a lot more work, but you
It's a
get a lot
different
more
taste.
enjoyment. Yes.
Tastes better.
No,
That's
because
really
I
good.
still remember my mother insisted on a big old herb garden, and then we had these massive rosemary bushes.
Yes.
Yes.
Number one, it was great on like some chicken thighs, but the dog loved the rosemary bushes.
Really?
Yeah, would sit there and rub himself,
Really?
and it's
Well,
like, all right.
It actually keeps like gnats and mosquitoes away from your pets.
There you go. That makes
Mm-hmm.
perfect sense then.
And so y'all have a lot of these options. What would be say seasonal right now as we head into the fall?
Seasonal right now, you have garden mums, zinnias, marigolds. All those I actually have 50% off this week. We are getting geared up for our Veterans Day sale. We're having a huge sale like how we did for Mother's Day.
Yeah.
It's going to start November 1st, and it's
Okay.
going to run through November 11th.
All right.
We're going to have 50,000 pounds of concrete delivered here soon. So my place is going to be covered in concrete.
Say, we're doing some building then. That's a lot of concrete.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But then, let's see, what else do I got? We're going to have more furniture in. Right now, furniture-wise, I am selling it as quick as I can get
Is that
it in.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what about firewood? I saw the firewood supplies. I came by today.
Yes, I am trying to fill up
Okay.
and restock as soon as I can. I mean, we have our large racks of oak
Yeah.
for $84, and then
Okay.
our small racks are $45.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that goes quick, I'd imagine.
It does.
Yes, it,
really
does. It does. And
And-
it's good hardwood oak. I mean, or, hardwood. We don't ever have, the junk trash that you may
Right.
get from some places.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And so, just to remind folks, it's not just the great products y'all provide,
Right.
but y'all can help people out, right? If they're trying to plan out a garden, these sorts of things.
Yes, right. We have. We're actually working on building up our crew of our staff. We're getting a lot of them more knowledgeable about all the products, what grows good here,
Good.
how they can advise people. But then we also have Dad, Mark, which does the landscaping side. He's a designer as well as I am.
Good deal.
So we can help you with pretty much anything you want to plan out.
When did you know you're going to follow in Dad's footsteps in that way?
Probably when I grew up in a greenhouse.
It was just always in
It's
you.
always there. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Because they had the greenhouses whenever I was born. So I pretty much that's all I knew growing up was how to grow plants.
Well, no, it's a great skill, and it really is a skill. Like, there's some folks, I guess there's some plants that are like foolproof, like, hey, just plant it and
Yes,
it'll
there's
be all
some
right.
that you Well, I say you can't kill, but then some people still
Give me a minute.
Let me get my Roundup. Yeah.
And a lot of people's main issues is overwatering.
Oh, overwatering.
Overwatering. As far as, well, if you look at like your more decorative or seasonal plants versus like say aloe or something or succulents.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a lot more people that will tend to overwater them.
Yep.
Versus.
Have you ever met like a succulent enthusiast? Like,
Yes, I
My
actually
neighbor.
just had a succulent class on October 11th.
Really?
I did.
they're incredibly. If folks, y'all know what we're talking about, look it up because these are some of the craziest looking plants.
They are.
Yes, and some of them are just just as neat as they can be.
And
And
it's so small.
Yes.
That's what's so amazing. They're so small. They're just the most beautiful, intricate design I've ever seen.
Yes, and there's 1,000 different kinds of them too.
And so, like, that can actually be done because I'm often thinking of a garden outdoors, but you can have like small gardens inside, right?
You can.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people, even the little pixie gardens are getting popular again. And a lot of people will use succulents and moss and stuff like that, to make them.
All right. Man, we just blew through this.
I
But
know.
again,
I still got pine straw on sale too at cost for $4.50 a bale.
All right. So
All
I got pine
right.
straw.
Yeah.
all right. And this is the good looking stuff, too.
Oh yes, it's all hand raked.
Doesn't have
So,
all
I
those
mean,
sticks and pine cones in it?
You will.
stand
you
that.
rarely find sticks or
Yeah.
pine cones even.
But when
in
it's hand
ours.
raked, it's a lot easier to kind of clean that up as you do it.
And it's all long leaf too. So I
Oh,
mean,
nice.
it's all real fresh because I mean they're just now starting to do fresh rakes and
Mhm.
everything. It looks really good and clean.
Okay, y'all got to check that out. And again, remind folks about that big sale coming up here at the beginning of next month.
Yes, it's November 1st through November 11th. We will be working 8 to 5 throughout that whole sale. The only day we'll be closed will be on Sunday.
Okay.
Now that Saturday, the 11th, if I'm not mistaken, JT and Leanne's going to come out and do a live broadcast.
Oh, cool.
Awesome.
So, but we'll have, them there doing live music and stuff, as well as doing hot dogs, hamburgers, Cokes. We're going to have raffles and then also free drawings.
Oh,
to
wow.
Win stuff.
Do me a favor, when you see JT, he owes me $20. If you can get it from him, you can keep it.
Oh, okay.
Just tell him. He will.
That'll work. He'll know what you're talking about? All right.
Yeah, you can keep it.
That'll work.
It's just the principle of the matter. You don't really
Yeah,
need
I'm
it.
just trying to collect.
I'll buy you a succulent.
There
How
you go.
about that?
Oh, we got a deal.
Well, and are we leaving anything out here? Because we blew through this. Y'all have,
I came organized today.
like firewood, pine straw, the big
she just
sale.
goes right down the list, man. Ting, 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 ting. Got it.
Well, I was out of town for the past 3 days, so I have been cleaning up since I came back.
Oh, yeah?
So I have a list for everything right now.
That's very smart.
Have to.
And remind folks of y'all's location.
Our location is 3295 Wetumpka Highway. And once time does change, now we will be going to 8 to 4 instead of 8 to 5. And then our Saturdays will be 8 to 1 instead of 8 to 2.
Okay.
Okay. Well, it's great seeing you, Amber.
I know. It's nice seeing y'all.
Good seeing you, Amber.
And I just encourage folks to stop by because we can talk about it, but once you actually see everything y'all have to offer, you're going to fall in love with it.
And a lot of people love our place just because of the advice we can offer.
Yep.
We're not going to sell you something that really needs to be grown in Florida versus something that's geared
Appreciate
for
that.
here. Yes.
Well, like I said, great seeing you, and give your dad my best.
I will.
Thank you, hon.
All right.
More news and views after this quick break.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your fall market report on real estate in the River Region. From January through September of 2023, close to 3,600 homes have sold and closed in our area through area realtors. Our average sales price is approximately $250,000, which makes us one of the most affordable areas in the state to buy a house. So far this year, sellers that listed with an area realtor were blessed with a sales price that was 98% of the listed price or possibly above listed price. Because we have had a severe shortage of houses on the market, the buyers have had to look a little longer to find a home that satisfied their needs. Even with higher rates, local mortgage lenders have found ways for buyers to buy down rates on their mortgages and making the transition from tenants to home ownership possible. For all the details, call Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group at 221-2883 or 551-0225.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values. This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
The River Region's News Talk Station. News Talk 93.1. WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the program. That's 272-9228. Now, we were just talking off the air, Eddie, about this massive wreck. What was it, I-55 in Louisiana?
It was I-578 or something. Yeah, I-58. 158, I'm sorry. 158.
And here, I've got a video clip. We might as well go ahead and share this. This is a local news report on this issue. Let's tune in together.
Okay. Who is live in Laplace, Louisiana this morning. Nicole, obviously this is a very tragic situation, but unfortunately it's still an active situation.
Britta, really still just a horrific scene here just outside Laplace, Louisiana. We're just along U.S. Highway 51, which actually parallels the Manchac Bridge and I-55 here, the portion that, of course, remains shut down today. And I can tell you, as the sun comes up this morning, I can make out several of the hundreds of cars that are still sitting on this highway, or this interstate, I should say, that are completely mangled, incinerated, and are waiting to be towed away by the many emergency vehicles you can see behind me. I will step out of the way to give you a visual of, sadly, really a devastating picture there. Just beneath what you see I-55 there, that bridge, you'll notice one car that was pushed off of the guardrail. Louisiana State Police confirming that person was the one of 7 killed in this deadly pileup Monday morning. And of course, officials worry that number could continue to rise throughout the day today as nearly 30 others are injured and are nearby hospitals. But this was just a deadly and very devastating situation. I mean, more than 100 people stranded on this bridge for several hours, as it was a real challenge for emergency responders to get to them. Some of them even had to walk along.
Yeah, somebody, and I don't know if it was a joke or not, saying maybe the smoke's from this wreck, and right there you can see just how much it was billowing, so much on fire there. Let me try to scrub ahead to where you can kind of more see Yeah, there it is, folks. I've got it pulled up on the live stream. Look at that. That's insane. My goodness, let's continue on with the report here.
Officials sort of taking action to try to prevent a repeat of that. We know that several schools across the New Orleans area now have delayed start times today to try to give parents some more time to get their kiddos.
Wow, look at that. If you're not watching the live stream, folks, just go to Joey Clark Live on YouTube. You can also check it out on Facebook, my page, News Talk's page, as well as on Twitter X at the Joey Clark. But best way is Joey Clark Live on YouTube. Like and subscribe. And we've got it paused here on the images the next day. That is, how does something like that happen? And it's a super fog that created zero visibility conditions. Maybe that's, people couldn't see. This is the stuff of nightmares. When you're on a crowded interstate, you realize at a certain point, if one or two people make the wrong move, a lot of y'all are going to end up in a lot of hurt.
Now, this is something you're not going to hear, but if 3 of those cars were Teslas, that bridge wouldn't be there right now.
They would have burned through? Why would I want to hear that?
Well, your generation, well, no, isn't that just as bad news, more tragic news? You know what? I did. I put you in.
Me.
I did. I put you in a group that you really don't belong in. I'm sorry for that.
Yeah, it's just, it's unfair what you do
and
sometimes.
I apologize for that.
272-9228. You're on the air. Who's this?
Gentlemen, good afternoon. It's Wayne.
Hey, Wayne.
Hey, Wayne. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm listening to you. I saw some pictures. I haven't seen a video, but recall, was it a year, 2 years ago in Texas, there was an iced portion of the interstate, and just one vehicle after another they just kept piling in. It was oh my God, it was horrible looking.
This is absolutely massive, what we're looking at here. Have you seen the images of this thing?
Only a still photo this morning. I haven't seen anything else since.
Since there's 158 vehicles in it, and just looking at it, you can't tell hardly one from the other. It looks like they got so hot, several of them kind of combined.
And I'm playing the video more now here on the live stream. Again, Joey Clark Live on YouTube.
That fog is.
And it's just a second.
Smoke,
yeah.
Smoke blended with fog,
yeah.
right?
Yep.
Right.
Wow.
There's the drone video. We're playing it now. That is literally the stuff of nightmares. And that doesn't look like a first world country to me.
No.
What is that? Looks like the war zones we've been looking at.
It looked like there was a gas truck in there too, a semi.
Yeah, and that would do it.
Yeah.
And it just appears before you, and you obviously no time to break, no time to do no checkup or nothing.
No, I mean if you're in the middle of that, good luck. Pray to God.
Yeah, that thing in Texas was real similar with one. I mean, 18-wheelers, full speed, just never checked up, piled on. It was crazy, and this sounds a lot like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is real bad.
Wow.
And here's some up-close footage people have. Wow. And this must have been high speed, too, because these cars are blown to bits.
Yeah.
Sure. Oh, my gosh. Good show, fellas.
Thank you, Wayne.
Appreciate you, Wayne.
Hey, we just got another call in a minute ago, too. Apparently, we have traffic backing up out here on 85. 18-wheeler has kind of lost his cold steel roll, so they're transferring it. So traffic is slowing down right in front of the studio.
And I'm just scrubbing through seeing these images here, folks. You can see how, they're trying to clean this up, but there's still a lot there. I mean, there's just so much there that I can't imagine having to actually clean that place up. Yeah, we thought we had it bad with the bridge.
Right.
And at least we had a great construction company. The McGinnis folks there took care of it.
They sure did.
This is...
they're going to be hauling vehicles out of there for a week.
Well, we've got the infrastructure we got, but who was the genius? Is it Ike? Eisenhower? Maybe he was too friendly with the commies. Maybe McCarthy was right. No, Ike was not a commie. But, the interstate system. We're like, man, this is the envy of the world. And then, what happens is you got Joey and Eddie going to the beach on the interstate.
Right.
Or commuting to work on the interstate. Then you've got all these big rigs and gas trucks. Our freight and our shipping is on the same roads as just your everyday pedestrian drivers.
Yeah.
Genius.
I'm okay with that.
Nobody could have planned this, but gum, we got to have a better way of doing this, because that is the one thing. It's not everyday people that make me nervous on the roads. It's the having to share the road with some of these big vehicles, where one wrong move, man, pray to God.
haven't you seen like Christmas Vacation? You got to duck down. And you ride it underneath the logging truck there for a little while. When the lane clears, you come back out from underneath it.
Yeah.
That's what happens, man.
That's just what happens.
That's what happens, man.
You're so nonchalant about it, Eddie. So very nonchalant indeed. That one overhead shot.
Yeah.
So that must be a gas truck right there.
Yeah. Well, you also got one to the back to the right.
And it looks like some of that is melted. Like the rubber is melted off the tires.
When your cars come out of the body shop, you see those cars towards the back before they have every paint on them. That's how they look. That's exactly what they look like. When they come out at Hyundai, when they get stamped,
right.
Together,
Yeah, I know what you're talking
exactly
about.
What they look like.
You probably know this. You know what Fordite is?
No.
It's mostly in Michigan that you see this, but I'm sure Hyundai's got something like this now, where you spray cars, you paint them so often that you get paint residue that builds up on the walls and stuff in the surrounding area, and it hardens and it creates. And it's not just paint; it's other things you'd spray the car with. And it builds up and it creates this man-made like stone.
Yeah.
That can be then crafted into all sorts of stuff.
Yeah,
it looks amazing.
It's just scrap paint, but yeah.
Yeah, I think they call it Fordite.
No, we just call it scrap paint.
Right.
But yeah, that's exactly.
Like you can get a pen made out of it, you get a paperweight, you get whatever made out of it.
Yeah. The stones, though, are the best. But what I always worry about, paint ain't always the healthiest thing in the world. So we're putting that into a stone.
Yeah, right.
Putting that on my house.
Here you go, kid.
Now this is your problem.
Merry Christmas. Look in your stocking.
Exactly.
That came from a factory in Detroit.
I'm so impressed that we were able to do it because we are turning, scrap into something usable. But I always think,
Yeah. 272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by James Cole and Cole Plumbing. And, of course, you need to just go ahead and save their number in your phone, 279-8919. That's 279-8919. You need to save it. That way you're not fumbling around trying to find a number if you do have a true plumbing emergency, like a burst pipe inside or outside your home. Time is of the essence, and Cole Plumbing gets that. And they have this proprietary pipelining technology that allows them with minimal discomfort to you and your home to get in there and solve the problem with precision and expertise. That means they're not going to have to tear out a bunch of drywall, which is... they're not going to have to dig up a huge hole in your yard. I think the drywall's worse, though.
You're making mud inside the house.
And you continue to find, like, little specks of it.
Forever.
It's like beach, like going to the beach and sand in your shorts or something. Or in your shoe. So why not go with true pros there at Cole Plumbing? Again, they can solve that problem for you without making a big old mess you got to clean up for days and weeks ahead. Of course, they can also help you with a lot of common problems there at Cole Plumbing. Things like a clogged drain, low water pressure, maybe you got tree root invasion. Things you might not think of with a plumbing company, like a gas line leak.
Hey, they can help you with that.
Or maybe you're just looking to renovate and draw a new water line.
Yeah.
It could be you want to upgrade to a tankless water heater system. Cole Plumbing can help you across the board. So you can always go to coleplumbing.com and book an appointment online. But again, I suggest you save that number, 279-8919. That's 279-8919. And just remember, folks, when you have trouble with your bowl,
call on Cole, Joey.
Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
It's Cindy.
Hey, Cindy.
How we doing, guys?
Doing all right.
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing well. I have no complaints. But I wanted to give you a suggestion. I do have a better way to travel.
Oh. Okay.
And when we go somewhere that we've never been before, I open my Maps app, put it on avoid highways, stay off the interstates, and we take the back roads.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, a little extra time, but it's a little more scenic.
It's really not that much longer. I mean, I've done it both ways, like going to Panama City, and it took like 5 minutes longer to go back roads, and you see so much better stuff.
Well, and I guess it depends on what vehicle you're driving and exactly where you are, because I tried to take some back roads to get to this camp once in kind of the Birmingham area.
Yeah.
Thinking I was being clever. That was a mistake in my Kia K5. That was a mistake, because some of those country roads are truly country roads.
But, you got that right.
And the Kia handled it, but just barely. Just barely.
Well, I've got a 2016 Dodge Dart, so I mean I'm in a little bitty car too.
Yeah.
But this last trip we took, I took a wrong turn, and it took me down some dirt roads to get back on track. But coming home, I just let it pick the route. And this last time we took a trip, coming back, we actually went by the Ponce de Leon Springs and Vortex Springs. So we were able to make 2 stops for places that we would not have normally seen.
Yeah, and I've always wanted to go on kind of my own Pee-wee's Big Adventure, take Eddie along with me, and go see things like the biggest ball of yarn. Like, go see all the weird crap. I think you're the right guy to go do that with.
I think we did that when we went to Alaska. I think we saw the yarn.
Yeah.
Yeah, we stopped at a few oddball things like that.
All right.
But it's cool. I mean, side of the road, there's this big giant
wax museums all over the country. Like, those are creepy. But
creepy.
Yeah, you're right, Cindy. If you take kind of the back way, you go off the main interstates, you can find all sorts of gems in this country.
It's a lot more relaxed way to travel, I think, too.
Absolutely. I mean, we absolutely love it. We're not, I mean, I'm pushing 70, and so traffic kind of bothers me now. And
I could have
if
sworn.
I can get on a back road.
Yeah. I could have sworn you sound 50-something,
Yeah,
though. You doing the same game I am? You know, I'm turning 40 in December.
Really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't think that.
That's what he wants. You're falling for it.
Just add 5 years to your actual age. I'll be 35 in December. But add 5 years and tell people that, and people will be like, you look so good. I'm on that kick lately. And I'm amazed at how many people believe me. I'm like, I can keep doing this. This is fun.
Yeah.
Hey, you pull it off.
That's what I say. Pull it off, Joey. Pull it off well.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good day.
You too, Cindy. Thank you.
Yeah. Joey, what are some of your skills outside of work? Well, I can pull it off.
Pulls it off well.
Mm-hmm. Quite well, indeed.
I have a aptitude of faking it till I make it.
Oh. Now, let's get off the the terrible wreck scenery.
All right.
And let's instead show folks on the live stream here. Again, folks, Joey Clark live on the Book of Faces, as well as YouTube. Joey Clark live on YouTube. Like and subscribe. And we're looking at this ring that was just delivered to a client on Saturday by Dylan Rings.
Yes.
By Josh and Leslie Ryder there. So let me pull up some of these shots of this. That is absolutely remarkable. And this is the sort of handiwork you can expect from Josh Ryder and Leslie there at Dylan Rings. Like the amount of detail, when you especially get these close-ups, it's you're not going to find that anywhere else here, folks. So this is an example of the quality they can offer you. They're custom-made by Josh Ryder there at Dylan Rings, a true custom-made experience. So the question is, what can Josh make for you? The guy's a true artist. If you can dream it, Josh can make it a reality. Or maybe you just want to do a slight, just a slight change. Like it's a family heirloom.
Right.
It's a little dated, but you don't want to break the spirit of what the jewelry piece
You want to put
is.
your twist on it.
Maybe you want to combine two pieces of jewelry. They can do that.
Oh, yeah, they can do that.
Could be you're doing something poignant to remember a lost loved one, like a parent or a child. It could be you want to have some fun and get custom made like funky fresh medallions.
I'm down.
Say you're starting like a retro 80s hip hop group. And so you've got to get the Adidas, of course, but then you get the funky fresh medallion. I think
Don't start making me mock myself, Joey.
Right. No, I think Eddie would be all about that.
I'm all about it.
Yeah, Eddie's like a mix of Run DMC plus, if you've ever seen that show, The Trailer Park Boys. That's Eddie Vader. And if you go in and you tell Josh Ryder something like that, as esoteric as it might be, he can make it happen.
He can make it happen. I guarantee it.
Really high quality work. Of course, you can always go to DylanRings.com or give him a call at 215-3669. That's 215-3669. But I think the best way to work with Josh and Leslie there at Dylan Rings, stop by. 119 Brown Springs Road, right off of Atlanta Highway. The way I remember it, folks, it's where the old Fun Zone used to be. That platform's still there.
Yeah.
I worked there for a few years. So that's how when I pulled into Dylan Rings the other day, I'm like, man, bringing back memories. Fun memories.
Yeah,
a lot of memories. So be sure to tell Josh and Leslie, too, when you stop by or give them a call, that Joey and Eddie from News and Views in the afternoon sent you. Again, 272-9228 if you want to get in on the program. That's 272-9228. Now looking at some more of what's going on in the world. Before we get into more of the heavy-duty serious stuff, we probably should play some of this Tucker Carlson, Colonel McGregor interview. It's pretty sobering. But before we get into all that, we've got another story about George Santos.
Santos?
The Long Island liar has been caught again. This is from the Daily Mail. Here's what he got caught on this time. After claiming his 5-year-old niece was kidnapped by Chinese commies in New York City, and the cops said, yeah, that was all made up. Santos claimed that his 5-year-old niece was then found 40 minutes later in the company of 2 Chinese men. NYPD sources said they found no evidence, adding, I'd lean into he made it up. Fabulous is the word I think they're throwing out there.
Is that right?
Right.
Being nice.
No, and so often when it comes to George Santos, all of his stories are like a fantastical banquet. So many strange dishes. And this is why I like the guy. It really is. Look at that fella.
I mean, I hate to go with your argument. He is about the perfect guy for this job because he has no shame. There is no shame in this man's game whatsoever.
And you see that lady on the screen?
I thought that was his sister.
It's his sister, Tiffany. Okay. And she's believed the mother of the 5-year-old.
I got to be honest, that looks like George with a wig.
I'm about to say. I'm glad I didn't say she's good looking.
Just waiting for it.
Well, and then you still have George Santos. I don't have it pulled up, but he's still tweeting stuff like, as an openly gay man, all you LGBTQ people praising Hamas need to watch yourselves because I don't know if they have any buildings that throw me off of anymore. What are they going to do to me? And it's like, this guy has no shame.
He
has no shame. But that's another whopper there from George Santos. Wow. That his 5-year-old niece was kidnapped by the Chinese Communist Party.
Is that recently, or did he use that to get elected? If I don't get elected, they're going to keep her. I mean, what?
I don't know. Maybe they microchip her with a listening device. Yeah, he does need to write a book. I would love George Santos to write a book, especially about American history.
Yes,
it could be novelized, like Gore Vidal's series of novels about American history. Like George Santos was there when Burr and Hamilton did their thing.
Forrest Gump thing, man.
Right, he was there when Teddy Roosevelt got shot and continued that speech. Yeah, George Santos as Forrest Gump,
time traveler.
Yeah, instead of some guy from Greenbow, we could have some dude from Long Island.
Right. The Long Island liar.
And for all the folks upset in his district, no, it's Long Island. You deserve it.
You voted for him.
Give me a break.
Put him in there, man.
Yeah, come on, man.
And most of you, it's such a small area, you had to just about meet him because it's such a small area. Y'all put him in.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oof. Absolutely hilarious. 272-9228. In a second, we'll get to this Colonel Douglas McGregor clip with Tucker because as serious as a heart attack, and honestly, when you watch Fox News, especially these days, you're pretty much going to get only the hawk opinion and a lot of emoting.
Mm-hmm.
And what I appreciate about Colonel McGregor is that I think he's laying down some key facts that underlie the moment we're in right now as a nation.
Gotcha.
So it's a shame that it used to be he was on Fox. You saw how the other hosts treated him other than Tucker.
Mm-hmm.
Trey Gowdy got onto him one time. A few others were getting onto him. Oh, that guy didn't know what he's talking about. Oh, because he disagrees with the Pentagon's propaganda?
He disagrees with them.
Well, they're the Pentagon. They would never engage in propaganda. No,
really?
They're the Pentagon.
That's what
Just
they do.
The CIA would never lie to us.
That's what they do.
Well, I have this, maybe it's just a conceit of mine, but it's something I really want to believe. I'm a little sentimental about it. Is that the yearning for liberty beats in every human heart. And then you see the average bear and you're like, no, you think of that Mencken quote, the average man doesn't want to be free, he just wants to be safe. I start to think my sentiment is just that, a conceit. The more I watch my fellow Americans and then everybody else in this war of all against all around the world. Not fun.
What if I just want to be left alone? I'll find my own safety. I just want to be left alone.
Just go live in the forest?
Yeah. Or here, just leave me alone.
No, we'll go build a cabin, live in the mountains. We'll both get a horse.
We're not doing the whole Abe Lincoln thing, no.
I'm not saying it. Why'd you take it there?
I don't want to go build a cabin with you. You have no skills in that department.
I can learn, and I might surprise you. I might have been playing dumb.
Well,
so nobody asked me to do anything for them.
Well, it's working pretty good, I got to be honest with you.
Yeah. You got to think it through. I'm like a Machiavellian evil genius. I'm like Iago himself, all right?
Diabolical genius, are you?
272-228 Yeah, I don't think this town's big enough for 2 diabolical scientists, all right? And by the way, do you think Stephen Reed's running?
I do.
I think he
mainly
is, too.
because it's just been so quiet here lately.
I think he did an appearance on Capital Journal with Todd Stacey.
Oh, really?
And, yeah, he looks like he's running.
We saw him
and
at
he's
the-
got a new book out about leadership.
Yeah, the book thing. But we saw Todd at the Trump thing, right? Did we see Todd Stacey at the Trump thing? I thought so.
Yeah, of course we did.
Yeah, we did. Okay.
Yeah, we saw some folks from Alabama Daily News, Todd in
Yes.
particular. Saw some reporters from Yellowhammer. Of course, saw my great
Who
work
was the
family,
reporter that
extended
you
family of
spoke to?
1819. The one who's on NBC
Yes,
National
yes.
is a
Do you
Today
remember-
Show reporter.
Do you remember her name? or
Cat
anything?
something. I follow her on Twitter.
Oh, do you?
They never, I think, used what I gave them.
Maybe she kept that for her personal file.
Just need to. We know. We do need to go build a cabin in the woods somewhere and just keep each other company, right?
Okay, whatever. Can I bring a dog?
272-922. Yeah, of course you can bring the dog. Okay. We'll bring several dogs. Bring dog, cats. We'll have like a whole. You know when the dog gets sick and you gotta have it go live on the farm? We'll start one of those.
Yeesh, those ain't fun farms, Joey.
Yeah, but the glue production is great. This part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. And they're at Montgomery Men's Health. Well, they're ready to help you. Men
Oh, yeah,
out.
they are.
Now, it could be you're feeling the symptoms of low testosterone. And what are those symptoms? Well, no energy. And it's not just like physical energy.
Right, just no want to, no drive.
Yeah, you're like mentally, you're kind of listless.
Yep.
Like, what am I even doing with my life? And no sex drive to speak of.
No sex drive, and you get a lot of brain fog.
So it's just kind of sluggish across the board is a
Yep.
good thing. Like
Good way to
nothing
put
seems to work. Well, that could be low T. Here's how you find out. Quick blood draw. Only $99 there at Montgomery Men's Health, and you can know your testosterone numbers. And if you do, in fact, have low T, they have treatments there that can truly change your life. Most men after these treatments, and there are many types of treatments depending on where you are in life, but most of the men, whatever treatment they choose, experience higher energy, better gains in the gym.
Brother.
That's right, brother. Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns,
Pretty good.
and you might even notice an increased libido.
Ain't nothing wrong with that,
There's a
Joey.
lot right with it. So y'all check them out today. And it doesn't have to be testosterone reasons. It could be you got a slow metabolism.
Yeah.
You could also, when you get a testosterone score, you get a PSA score. It's a great marker for prostate health and less invasive than the usual way. They really are reinventing men's health care there at Montgomery Men's Health. So give them a call today at 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to montgomerymenshealth.com and be sure to tell them what you heard about them here on News and Views in the afternoon. More News and Views after this.
Joey Clark.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Next contestant. Honey, you look confused. What's wrong?
I'm having a hard time remembering to take my medications like I'm supposed to. I didn't say anything because I didn't want to worry you.
I'm glad you told me, because I heard that Adams Drugs has a medicine on time service that will package your monthly medications and make them easier to manage. Our neighbors, Bill and Leslie, mentioned the other day that they use Adams and how they have made it so easy for them to manage their medications.
Do you think we can call Adams Drugs? Or go by there and see if they can help me? I don't want to get to the point where you have to put me into an assisted living home.
Why don't you get your medications together right now, and let's go down to Adams and talk to the pharmacist.
How much does the medicine on time service cost?
I asked Bill that same question, and he told me it's a free service for Adams customers.
Free? Wow, I'm feeling really good about this already. Let me grab my meds list.
Call Adams Drugs Medicine on time for your pharmacist consultation. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for more information on our Medicine on Time packaging service.
What'll it be, Joe?
Coffee and apple pie.
Whoa, Madge, what was that?
The lights? Oh, they always dim when the dishwasher turns on.
You should call Crosby Electric.
You think?
Overloaded circuits at your business can be dangerous. The experts at Crosby Electric can upgrade your electrical service to safely handle the load. And they can add receptacles where needed to eliminate overuse of extension cords.
Madge, I'd like to pay you. The problem is it's so dark in here I can't read my bill.
No, the problem is you're cheap.
Well, that's a problem too.
Effective, attractive lighting is essential for any business. Crosby Electric can help with a new lighting scheme that will give your business a fresh, exciting look. And they can recommend outdoor lighting for greater safety and security.
That'll be $4.50 for the coffee and pie, Joe.
Well, don't I get anything for recommending Crosby Electric?
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome.
Don't put off essential electrical upgrades for your business. Call 272-2085 or visit crosbyelectric.com.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by Earnest Financial.
If you're tired of losing your money in the stock market, call David Earnest, 334-279-7431. Earnest Financial, LLC.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Our drought continues to expand. It could be several more days before we get some rain. But in the meantime, we're warm for late October with a high today and tomorrow in the lower 80s, lots of sunshine. Clear skies tonight, low 56. We'll be in the low to mid 80s on Thursday and Friday with more sunshine and continued dry this weekend, highs in the mid 80s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
John Bobo with Capital Tractor. Looking for a tractor, excavator, mower, ag implements, or other equipment? Capital Tractor is as close as your smartphone or computer. Find the best deals, financing information, and browse new and used inventory with just a click at capitaltractor.com.
Live local talk. The River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228. Now, great guy, Sam Adams just dropped off some of these purple pinky donuts.
Yeah.
It's the Purple Pinky Donut Project. Tuesday, today, October 24th, in celebration of World Polio Day, Dunkin' Donut locations in Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi are partnering with Rotary Districts 6760, 6780, 6800, 6860, and 6880 to host a fundraising event for End Polio Now. Rotary is a global network of 1.3 million neighbors, friends, and leaders who unite and take action to create lasting change in communities around the globe. They've been doing this for over a century, folks, 110 years. Success of the Purple Pinky program is driven by Rotarians who pre-ordered 10-count boxes of pinkies for a $25 donation per box. And it's generated more than 1.5, I think, billion? Or no. Today it's just going to be 1.5 million across just these areas. Really incredible stuff raised by folks and Rotarians in Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, and Missouri. So great cause there. And thank you, Sam Adams, for being part of this and bringing us by this reminder. So 272-9228. And there is a lot going on in this wide world of ours. So let's, without further ado, go to Tucker Carlson. And this is Tucker last night with Colonel Douglas McGregor.
We seem to be heading to war with Iran. Certainly the Biden administration is pushing us in that direction. What's new and interesting and ominous is that very few Republicans, the opposition party, are pushing back. Instead, some of the party's leaders are encouraging it. Here, for example, is Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina from last weekend on NBC.
You said this week that the only way to keep the war from escalating is to hold Iran accountable, part of what you're talking about now, and that it might mean bombing their oil refineries. Have you had any discussions with the Biden administration about this?
A bit. Here's my message. If Hezbollah, which is a proxy of Iran, launches a massive attack on Israel, I will consider that a threat to the state of Israel, existential in nature. I will introduce a resolution in the United States Senate to allow military action by the United States in conjunction with Israel to knock Iran out of the oil business. Iran, if you escalate this war, we're coming for you.
Are you effectively poised to declare war on Iran? That's very strong language.
I am poised to use military force to destroy the source of funding for Hamas and Hezbollah.
That's Lindsey Graham. A few others in the Republican Party will be that open about their intentions, but very few disagree with him. Certainly not in private. They agree. So what would war with Iran mean? Well, it's hard to know because virtually no one who's talking about it in public is operating from a deep interest in America's interest. Is this good for us or is it not? Former Colonel Douglas Macgregor is the CEO of Our Country, Our Choice, and one of the first people we turn to for analysis of events like this because he is interested in what happens to the United States. He joins us now. Doug, thank you for coming on. Do you think that we are moving toward war with Iran?
Yes, I do. And it looks like the chosen destination is indeed Armageddon. There doesn't seem to be any real appreciation for the implications for us and frankly for Europe and the world, as well as the Middle East, of such action. Take for an example, just on the economic side, about 20% of the world's oil passes through the Straits of Hormuz every month. Probably 25% of liquefied natural gas. And you're talking about shutting down 2 to 3 million barrels a day of oil from Iran. This entire region is involved in the war. This is not an Iranian monopoly by any stretch of the imagination. But the point is that when we're looking at 10-year Treasury yields up over 5%, and people are increasingly convinced that the Fed has lost control, the economic side of the house is catastrophe. Then when you look at the military side, you have to look at the arsenal of missiles that Iran possesses. And they can reach out 1,200 miles with great precision, very high explosive conventional warheads that would do enormous damage, destroying whole city blocks in places like Haifa, Tel Aviv, even Jerusalem, though I doubt they would attack Jerusalem. The bottom line is that we need to think this through, and everyone right now is emoting. There is no thinking anywhere, as far as I can tell. The only possible exception may be, amazingly enough, Mr. Erdogan in Turkey, who came out this morning and indicated he was willing to mediate the dispute between Israel and Hamas. Whether or not anyone in Washington or Israel is interested in talking, I don't know. But if we could sideline Turkey and keep Turkey out of the fight, that would ultimately help Israel enormously.
And, well, here's the problem. Turkey is offering up peace negotiations, but they're also they're mobilizing, I believe. Right. And McGregor will say it later. We'll continue to play this as we head into the next hour because, again, about as serious as a heart attack, folks.
A lot of these countries, they literally talk out of both sides of their mouth.
Oh, yeah.
So
especially Turkey.
Right. I mean, it's the truth. And until, I hate saying it, but I'll say it, until ignorant Americans wake up to that fact, they will lie to you because their ultimate goal is to destroy you. Until you accept that fact, you're just a moron. A rube, if you will.
We got to hit a quick break, but first, this part of the program brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And they're at Alabama Home Mortgage, Kim Williams and her team, well, ready to help you.
Yes.
With that mortgage. Now, it could be you're trying to buy a home.
Could be.
You got to start with pre-approval.
Right.
They're going to tell you that there at Alabama Home Mortgage.
Really
and they can walk you every step of the way, all the way to closing day. So that's things like what, Eddie? Appraisals?
It could be appraisals. It could be anything from, we have surveys that come back, and maybe the survey, you think you're getting a bigger piece of land than you're actually getting. All kinds of little things that
Inspections.
come up. Inspections can come up. Things can come up. All of a sudden, there could be a foundation issue, things like that. But they can help you through every step of the way.
And there's not going to be a surprise on closing day.
There will not be a surprise on closing day. I've probably closed, 100 or more loans with them. I've never had one surprise on closing day.
Folks, it really works to work with a local, great mortgage company that's earned their reputation over the many years they've been in business.
Yeah, buddy.
Kim and Madeline there are just fantastic, easy folks to work with. And it's not just buying a home. If you're looking right now, because what the average credit card APR is 28.5%, something like that. That's the average.
That's the average, Joe.
And the average amount of debt on credit cards, Alabamians are holding like $7,000, probably
At
higher.
least $7,000, I would say, yeah, probably double that now.
Yeah, so if you're stuck under mountains of credit card debt or any other sort of debt and you want to use that equity you've built up in your home, they can help you out there at Alabama Home Mortgage. You might say, hey, mortgage rates are 7, 8, 9%. But that beats 28.5
yes, it
on
does.
those
All
credit
day long,
cards.
Joey.
So, and if you're a veteran, you really are leaving money on the table if you're not taking advantage of the VA home loan programs there. And Alabama Home Mortgage, well, they're a VA home loan specialist. So if you earn these benefits through your service veterans, you might as well take advantage of them.
Exactly.
Kim and Madeline can walk you through it. So give Alabama Home Mortgage a call today, 567-4223. That's 567-4223. You can also visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender. More news and views after this very quick break. After this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
It's fall, y'all, at Mama's Produce, and boy, do we have what you need. We have mums of every color. Corn stalks will be in soon, pumpkins. We have fall flowers and fall vegetables. And don't forget to check out our Facebook page, Mama's Produce. We post what we have as soon as it comes in so that you're right there. Check out our gift ideas as well.
Y'all come on down to Mama's, right next to Prattville Farm Center, 1154 South Memorial Drive. Everybody loves Mama's.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
On FM, on your smartphone, and online. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the program. And the Romex Angler has now joined the live stream. Joey Clark live on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Great way to watch the show, but if you just want to have it on in the background, still a great way to listen to. And Romex Angler says, I'm sure everyone has been missing me for the first 2 hours, but I'm here now. The depression can end. Well, that's good to know that the depression that's come upon us can end. Now, Eddie, let's call an audible here. Okay. We'll get into more Doug McGregor after the top of the hour. But first, I don't know if you saw this story.
Yeah.
Well, let's just play it without even characterizing it.
Unforgivable accident. That's how one homeowner describes coming back from vacation to find a company accidentally demolished a home she owned.
Oh.
Company management claims they had the wrong address. Fox 5's Eric Perry has been digging into this issue. He's live for us with the latest. So, Eric, how does this even happen?
I hope he goes into, well, they get one of these things with it.
Yeah, Alex, that's really the million-dollar question. Take a look. This is all that is left of this home. Thankfully, no one lived inside at the time, but it's a home that's been in the family for over 4 decades.
I'm just left with a big old mess.
Susan Hodgson can't even begin
Wow.
to process how her longtime family property ended in a pile of rubble.
Ooh.
It started while she was on vacation and received a call from a neighbor.
Did you hire somebody to tear your house down next door to me that's been boarded up for about 15 years? And I said, no. She said, well, there's somebody over here just demolished the whole house and tore the whole house down.
Hodgson says the workers got nasty.
He told her to shut up and mind her own business.
So she sent a family member over.
Said, well, look, I want to see a permit or something. And he said, okay. He pulls it out and he says, oh, I'm at the wrong address. And just packs everything up and leaves. And the house is deported. Down, gone.
The home sits on Lakewood Avenue in southwest Atlanta, and no one was living inside at the time.
It's been boarded up for about 15 years. And we keep it boarded, covered, the grass cut, the yards cleaned up, taxes paid.
Hodgson says she hasn't heard anything from the company responsible. You call it, we haul it, and it's based in Atlanta.
It's just hard to believe somebody just thinks they got the right just to come up and tear something up and just walk away from it and leave it and come back, say, I'm sorry. What do y'all need to do to fix this? It's an accident.
And now.
Oh, it's just a rumbled mess. The whole house is just deported and just crushed in.
Hodgson and her family has to figure out what to do next.
I think he owes us an apology and fix the problem. He needs to fix the problem.
All right, back out here live. I did reach out to the company and got a response. I'm told that this under investigation. They also said they're working to rectify the situation. Now, the family involved says they have not heard from the company at all. Hopefully, they can get some answers after this. They're also worried about any maybe water or gas lines that might have been possibly ruptured.
I think you're going to have to sue.
Yep.
Go on vacation, come back, have property destroyed.
Oh, she's going to get paid.
I wonder how that, was it just a mistake or?
Yeah, it happens a little more often than you think it does.
We'll be right back. Final hour news and views on a Tuesday coming up.
Joey Clark.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Majority Whip Tom Emmer of Minnesota has been nominated to be House Speaker. Emmer emerged as the winner over Representative Mike Johnson of Louisiana, following several rounds of voting behind closed doors. It's been 3 weeks now since Republicans ousted Kevin McCarthy, who endorsed Emmer. Crews working through the night clearing the wreckage of more than 150 vehicles involved in a series of crashes on Interstate 55 near New Orleans caused by a super fog of marsh fire smoke and dense fog that killed at least 7 people and injured another 25. That death toll could climb as first responders look for more victims. On Wall Street, the Dow had 111 points, the Nasdaq up 60. This is SRN News.
Donald Trump's indictment proves that saving America is not going to be easy. There are entrenched powers that are fighting this with everything they've got. They want to keep control over the country, the narrative, and the nation's money supply. Hi, I'm Lance Wallnau. I'm a news analyst, a Christian author, and evangelical leader. I speak to millions of people every week, people just like you. You see, what the elites are doing is using inflation and government handouts and now central bank digital currencies to determine how they're going to control America. And that's why I recommend all Christians start a gold IRA from the Birch Gold Group. Because physical precious metals are one of the few ways you can maintain control over your own savings. To get a free info kit on gold IRAs, text the word faith to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and you'll see why a gold IRA can help you. There are no strings attached. Text the word faith to 989898 and you're going to be blessed by taking action right now.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber. Alabama Wholesale Lumber, serving the river region with the best quality building materials for decades. Contractor to do-it-yourselfer. Call Alabama Wholesale Lumber.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Our drought continues to expand. It could be several more days before we get some rain. But in the meantime, we're warm for late October with a high today and tomorrow in the lower 80s, lots of sunshine. Clear skies tonight, low 56. We'll be in the low to mid 80s on Thursday and Friday with more sunshine and continued dry this weekend, highs in the mid 80s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Thank you once again for voting ASE the best credit union and best mortgage company in Central Alabama's Reader's Choice Awards. We're honored to serve our members for 69 years and counting.
ASE Credit Union, your life, your goals, your ASE.
1819 News.
A runoff election is being held in Bessemer today for House District 16. That seat was vacated this past summer by Kyle South, who became the president of the Chamber of Commerce of West Alabama. Now Brian Brinyark and Brad Cox are pitted against each other in this runoff race. Each of the men received 32% of the primary vote out of the 6 candidates who were vying for that position. Brinyard has been an attorney for 30 years and a municipal judge for 23, and Cox is the current county commissioner for Fayette County. District 16 covers Fayette, Jefferson, and Tuscaloosa counties. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Some of the greatest blessings is just having people that care about you. To have someone that's just going to love you and make you feel important. They encourage you to be in church. They encourage you to be in prayer. They encourage you to be in your Bible. Now it's a part of my day every day. My house parents planted seeds in me that you can see where those seeds have sprouted in my life and helped change my life.
Big Oak Ranch, a Christian home for children needing a chance.
The Alabama Forestry Commission says a wildfire in the town of Adger is about 80% contained. The fire has burned up 300 acres so far. The blaze first started out on Sunday, burning up 2 acres, but winds and dry condition spread the fire even further in the past 24 hours. A fire alert is in place for over half of the state due to the dry weather conditions that occurred back in September and into October. An Alabama native who returned to his home state just a few years ago is now ready to challenge Alabama Congressman Mike Rogers in the Republican primary. Brian Newell served in the Army for 22 years and returned to Anniston in 2018 to care for his parents. Newell has recently qualified for the Alabama Republican Party primary to challenge Rogers in the 3rd District race. Qualifying for races within the ALGOP will end by November 10th. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Hello everyone, Robbie Pelt with Capital City Roofing. If you think about it, your home is your biggest investment in life. Your roof covers your home, so why jeopardize your biggest investment on a roofer you don't know anything about when you can deal with a reputable roofing company like Capital City Roofing? We have an A+ Better business rating and the best manufacturers and workmanship warranties available. We do all residential and commercial roofing applications that are certified through the manufacturer to ensure you get the best material and workmanship money can buy. We also have your project in our best interest before and after construction has been done. Don't hesitate to call us if you have any roofing issues or questions. We will match any of our competitors' price and give you the same great workmanship warranty. We also give free estimates. Give us a call today and let us show you the difference. 277-3311. That's 277-3311. Or you can check us out on the web at www.capitalcityroofing.com. Capital City Roofing. We capitalize the roofing industry.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Beta in the house. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the program. IDF is now saying long fighting weeks are ahead of us.
Yeah.
As more and more assets from all sorts of nations being moved into the area.
Yeah.
Feels ominous.
It does. But to me, the longer all this buildup, you're just, it's you don't go on with the fighting now. You're just giving one side a chance to build up that much more munitions.
Well, let's continue on with a pro here. With Colonel Douglas McGregor, he had to sit down with Tucker. And Tucker Carlson continues to be one of the few places that actually puts out information that isn't just like corporate GOP nonsense.
Yep.
You know, I guess if that's what you grew up on and you're used to Fox News and whatnot, you know, you have every right to watch whatever you want to and believe what you want to. But
well, it's strange. As a guy of a certain age, I get it. There's a couple news stations here in town. One of them, to me, is the most incredibly corporate news station ever, as far as TV goes. Mm-hmm. But I constantly watch them. Because that's the norm to me. I know, and it's irritating because I know they're full of crap. But that's a habit that I got in with my parents, and for whatever reason, I can't seem to shake it.
Right. Well, here, let's. This is midstream here with Tucker Carlson and former Colonel Douglas McGregor.
So what would happen to the United States if we followed Senator Graham's advice and just began bombing critical infrastructure in Iran? What would happen then?
Well, all of the bases that we have in Iraq and Syria, unfortunately, where we still have over 1,000 Americans, all of those would be targeted. And this time, they would target them accurately, and this destruction would be wholesale. I would expect trouble here at home and in the United States because of the open border. Hezbollah has a very large operation in Mexico. There are no doubt many, many, many Hezbollah agents inside the United States. We can only begin to imagine the kind of trouble they could cause. The missile and space program in Iran is very, very advanced, as is their cyber warfare capability. All of these things would be brought to bear against us. But what's most important, I think, for Americans to understand is if we attack Iran on the basis of Hezbollah's alleged willingness to attack Israel if Israel invades Gaza, we will end up in a fight with Russia. Russia will not sit by quietly and watch Iran destroyed by the United States air and naval power in the region. And once Russia enters this, it becomes much more than just a local conflict, maybe more than just a regional war. We haven't thought this through. We need to do that. And I doubt seriously at that point that the Turks would be able to stay out. The Turks are Sunni Muslims. They are the de facto leaders of the Sunni Muslim world. They have the largest armed forces in the region. They are in close proximity to Israel. They could move forces south through Syria very rapidly. And I'm sure Bashar al-Assad, assuming he even survives the opening of this campaign, would not obstruct them.
So many questions, but just to back up one click, you described Iran's missile arsenal, but Iran is a country that's been the subject of a very intense sanction regime from the United States, increased by the last president, Donald Trump, but for a long time. How is Iran still such a powerful country militarily given those sanctions? It sounds like maybe they didn't work.
Oh, no, I think that's an important point, Tucker, and you're absolutely right. We place so much value on these sanctions and assume that they have this profound impact. Normally, sanctions harm the population in terms of lowering its standard of living, making life more difficult for the everyday citizen, but it doesn't fundamentally alter the policy or the goals and objectives of the government. And this is something that I don't think we understand. And the same thing is true for Hamas and Gaza. You know, you want to go after Hamas. You want to destroy it. I think everyone with a sound mind is interested in the destruction of Hamas. But do you want to kill hundreds of thousands of people in order to get at Hamas? That's the question. We have the same problem in Iran. Our sanctions have not harmed the regime's ability to develop and build very, very complex and sophisticated missiles. These missiles are very accurate now. There are hundreds, if not thousands. And the long-range missiles, the 1,200-mile range theater ballistic missiles, are a very serious threat to us in the region and to Israel. And the sanctions have had no impact there. If anything, the Iranians have pulled together the best human capital in their country, the best engineers, the best thinkers, and put them to work primarily on missile technology and on cyber warfare. And that's where we stand right now. We have to expect the worst as a result if we strike Iran.
And to stop it there, and actually coming up, there's a moment where Doug McGregor talks about how special forces are on the ground, Israeli and American, maybe others, and they were actually on the ground. They didn't do too well. They actually took heavy losses. Now, other folks are not reporting this. And this is, I guess, the little stupid fight I was having with Soldier Boy, that usually in my looking back and reading current modern American history, when we use special forces, we don't often signal we're doing this right now. Correct. We more signal we have this capability, and then we'll show up in the middle of the night when you least expect. So I'm going to scrub ahead to that point in the conversation between McGregor and Tucker Carlson. Here it is.
Into the region, which means that we're reliant on special forces, and right now 2,000 Marines and perhaps 2,000 special forces and special operations forces. That's not going to make much of a dent. And as we've seen quite recently within the last 24 hours or so, some of our special ops forces and Israeli special ops forces went into Gaza to reconnoiter, to plan for where they might want to go to free hostages and make an impact. And they were shot to pieces and took heavy losses, as I understand it. I think that's where we're headed. And I don't see that as a win for Israel in any way, shape, or form, and I certainly think it's very dangerous for us. You know, as I've tried to point out to a number of people, until Britain entered World War I, it was just another European war. Once Britain entered it, it became a global war. Well, once we are a co-belligerent, we enter this thing, it's going to be very difficult for Russia and Turkey not to also come into this fight against us, because they will not tolerate the sort of collective punishment that Israel plans for Gaza.
272-9228. And, you know, where I'm at with a lot of this, folks, is I don't even trust our leadership at this point. As I was saying earlier with Judge Napolitano, it doesn't seem like Biden's the one in charge. Especially when you see these interviews in this press conference here or there. It doesn't seem like Biden's running squad.
No, it's not.
I think it's more Tony Blinken running the show, the State Department, maybe Jake Sullivan of the National Security Council. This, well, it seems our entire history seems to be flaunting the Constitution and making decisions emotionally. And we've just been lucky so far. 272-9228. But I don't, you know, I'm in the position where I'm about to be 40. And it also just where I'm at in life, like the idea of the deep fear of death, that's not the case. But I can't imagine if I had a kid, or if I was of clear drafting fighting age. When I look at this current leadership class, who's going to answer the call? Who would want to? Who could do so in good conscience? Everything we've learned about them. And yet you're going to wave the American flag in my face. You're going to talk about the heroes that gave their lives in past generations and now say, oh, folks running things down, we're just the same. We're going to continue the story.
No.
Yeah, I don't buy it.
No, I don't think the people will buy it. I think that's why they're double down on trying to sell it. Nobody's buying it.
272-9228. Before we continue on with this part of the program, brought to you by Pest Pro Services. Now, talk about great folks that know how to make you smile, because they can get the job done when it comes to pest control and taking care of those little critters getting inside your home.
If you had a spider problem, Joey, you wouldn't be smiling. But if Pest Pro Services showed up and got rid of those spiders, well, you'd be smiling.
Oh, definitely would be smiling. And it is spider season.
Yes, it is. The webs are out there.
Hey, and if you think, well, I'll just take a broom or a rake to it and knock it down. No, they'll pop
Just
right
come
back up
tomorrow.
Well, and I'll kill the spider too. Oh, okay.
What about those thousands of babies it just had?
Right. Exactly.
We've all seen that.
So you probably want the pros to deal with something like that. Of course, always good to prevent termites from hitting your property.
Definitely.
They can set you up with that at Pest Pro Services. And really, across the board, whatever infestation problem you might have as an emergency or just general maintenance and upkeep, protecting your home against those bugs getting inside. Pest Pro Services, well, they're the best. Why not make them your everyday pest control company? It's not literally every day, but they can get you on a quarterly schedule. Ashley and her team not only have the best technology, highly skilled staff members, they also are just easy folks to work with, and they're always giving back to the local community. And that's why I think Pest Pro Services has grown leaps and bounds over the last few years.
No doubt.
Great local success story. So check them out today. You can always call them at 265-9990. That's 265-9990. Or go to ppsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services. And be sure to tell Ashley and the team that Joey and Eddie from News and Views in the afternoon sent you. More News and Views after this.
Joey Clark.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage. For years, I've been asking you to call me at Alabama Home Mortgage because there is a difference in mortgage companies. When you call Alabama Home Mortgage, you will immediately see the difference in pricing. Not only do we offer the most competitive rates, but our closing costs rank among the lowest in the industry. How do we do it? Because we can. We do not have the overhead that big banks and lenders do. Those big banks and lenders have big expenses. And what do? They pass those expenses along to you. Meanwhile, here at Alabama Home Mortgage, we receive wholesale rates which result in big savings that we pass along to you. Don't pay more for less. Give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time. Our rates and pricing are just one difference that sets us apart from the rest. It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
Good morning. Do you have time for lunch today? My treat.
Absolutely. But what's the occasion?
I'm in love with the new 24/7 Express kiosk at Worth Cleaners. The kiosk is so easy to use, and I can drop off and pick up on my schedule. Thank you for sharing that tip with me.
You're welcome. I'm happy to have my lunch buddy back.
Have you tried the new Worth Cleaners 24/7 Express kiosk? This is the first service of its kind in Montgomery. Customers love the convenience of dropping off and picking up dry cleaning and laundry on their schedule, day or night, 365 days a year. Even if you've never used Worth Cleaners before, you can go to their location at 7825 Vaughn Road today and use their 24/7 Express kiosk. Instructions along with several descriptive photos are posted on the wall next to the kiosk to aid customers who are first-time users. Give it a try. Visit our Vaughn Road location or find Worth Cleaners on Facebook for more information. Your family's clothing is worth it.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
When news happens, you'll hear about it first. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon, 272-9228. Just a reminder, we're now live streaming the show.
Right. In fact, I had a friend I talked to last night, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
They called me to complain about our app. And I said, and he's a smart guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I gave him a little crap about being so smart. I said, well, have you looked at us on YouTube? He's like, yeah, but I can't watch you while I'm driving. I said, no, but it's the same thing. You just click on there and stream us. You don't have to watch.
You don't have to watch.
Still get the whole conversation.
Get a good feed.
Get a good feed.
Right.
And if you get bored at a light and you want to look down for a good chuckle, well, there's usually me and Joey looking right at you.
Right. And then maybe when you get home, throw it up on the big screen.
Big screen, baby.
Or I would encourage you, maybe you're running a business. You could have it on in the background, folks,
really
and have
good
folks
idea.
go, what is that?
Right. That's a really good idea.
Well, those two ugly gentlemen, that's Joey and
They put on a
Eddie.
pretty
They're
good
like
show.
the Bert and Ernie of the River Region.
I'm Bert. No, wait a minute. I'm not Bert. Who am I?
Oh, yeah, you're Bert.
Oh, my
No,
God.
you said it. Before you thought about it, your instinct just kicked in. I don't. You're telling me about your relationship with your mother.
I've got a wonderful relationship with my mother.
So you're Bert, I'm Ernie, and
you wear the hat, so yeah.
Yeah, but if you want to watch us, YouTube, Joey Clark Live, like and subscribe.
And on your Twitter, right?
Yes, Twitter X at the Joey Clark.
At the Joey Clark.
As well as Facebook, News Talk's Facebook page, my Facebook page. Just look it up.
At the Joey Clark.
Yeah, I know.
I like
and Romex Angler put it out there. He said, so what is the reason Israel needs any other country's approval to respond? They declared war without permission, so why not carry out the mission without permission? That's a nice rhyme there. Yeah, it is. Great job. You've been watching a lot of Shakespeare too, Romex Angler?
I have a question about Shakespeare one day.
Okay, but oh wait, we're gonna get into the Oxfordian theory of
just
Shakespeare authorship?
Something I heard of that I didn't have any idea. I was told, or I listened to a podcast, and their theory is Shakespeare was multiple artists, not just one. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Is
Well,
that
some
so-
people thought it was Marlowe, some people thought it was Francis Bacon. But I think the most compelling, if it's not actually William Shakespeare, is the 17th Earl of Oxford, who would have known all that stuff. And his early poetry that's out there sounds a lot like a young
So
Shakespeare.
that's not crazy to a crazy.
No,
thought?
it's a big debate still. Now, the English lit departments be like, this is crackpot stuff, or
Mhm.
this is the realm of snobs, so you just don't believe a peasant could be this
The realm
brilliant.
of snobs. I've been
You only
there.
believe somebody in the royal court could write that way, but it's a fun, I think, engaging intellectual
I just had never heard of that
debate.
till the other night, and I thought, man, that's strange. I wanted to ask you about that.
But no, as far as Israel getting permission, like, they don't need permission. But I think here's the deal, Romex Angler, that Israel is still very reliant on American protection. Like, Israel has the deterrent in the sense of they have a massive arsenal of tactical nuclear weapons, and they have quite capable conventional military force. But if they're being attacked not just from the south, but from the north and from the east, or the so-called West Bank, it's west of Jordan, they've got a big problem on their hands. And especially if it's not just, say, Hezbollah and the Palestinians. If you start to see Turkey get into this, if you start seeing Iran bring this to bear, yeah, Israel's not in a great spot there. You can build up your capabilities all you want, all the live long day.
You're gonna need friends.
But you're going to need friends. And also, let's not kid ourselves. As much as we act like we're the United States and we have all these allies that are our peers.
We got frenemies, buddy.
No, the role of a diplomatic mission or an embassy is not to work with a equal peer, equal sovereign state. It's to supervise.
Yeah. Hello.
So.
Yeah.
And I'd imagine with Turkey being a NATO ally, that we got some stuff up our sleeve if they get out of hand. I'm just, from a little bit I've read about folks who would know.
I know, but they've got a good friend in Russia.
That's true, too.
That we've allowed to happen.
Let's go to Craig. Hey, Craig.
Hello, Joey. How are you?
Doing all right. How you doing?
I'm doing just fine. I had to call, not because I want to talk about Israel or any of that other stuff, but I just wanted to hear you say that again. Are you yourself an Oxfordian? You believe the Oxford theory?
Nah, I'm kind of agnostic on it. I haven't read enough on it.
Okay. I just, and Eddie, I love you to death. You're the best realtor I know. Who are these multiple people that wouldn't want to put their name on all of the splendor that is Shakespeare? Like, who would desire that, not to have their name on those works of art?
Well, I don't know. I just found out about this last night.
You're looking for sophistication from this guy?
Right, I just found out last night that Shakespeare apparently is more than one person.
I am just saying it is beneath you to believe such hogwash.
Oh.
Shakespeare was just a brilliant peasant, that's all.
See, but I watched this movie called Anonymous. It didn't get a great score on Rotten Tomatoes, and it seemed like it was all made up.
I watched a Young Shakespeare in Love movie. That was pretty good. Kind of a chick flick, but...
Have you ever watched any actual Shakespeare, Eddie? Like any, say, Kenneth Branagh, Much Ado About Nothing, Hamlet,
No,
Henry
what was
V.
that movie back in the 80s I watched? Amadeus. That's probably as close as I've seen anything, and that was boring as crap. We walked out in 40 minutes.
Well, last night, I kid you not, I'm not making this up, I watched, that came out in 95, I think, Othello, where it's Lawrence Fishburne as Othello, Kenneth Branagh as Iago, and that's more unnerving than any modern horror in a lot of ways. Like,
really?
You're like, this evil SOB. It'll jump up and catch you, so maybe you should, because you don't like to read, I know.
I like to read, I just don't like to read boring crap.
It's not that boring.
Yeah, if I would highly recommend watching Marlon Brando's version of Julius Caesar and the modernization done of Coriolanus with Gerard Butler and Ralph Fiennes. Those are my two favorite movie adaptations of Shakespeare. Just my 2 cents.
Now, have you seen the Richard III one with Ian McKellen that came out in the 90s? It's really modernized. I haven't seen it yet. I've only seen previews, but it looks odd.
No, I haven't. I did see Anthony Hopkins as Lear, and that was brilliant.
Yeah. Well, I think a crown jewel here in Montgomery is the Shakespeare Theater. And
I completely agree.
Yeah, I'm not a full-on Oxfordian, but I've kind of gone down the rabbit hole of the debates, and it's fascinating. I think there is a little something to it, but we just don't know just yet.
Absolutely. I had to know for sure. It would have kept me up at night if it wasn't one way or another.
Well, good to hear from you, Craig.
All right, take it easy, buddy.
Hey, Craig.
Let's go to Master Thespian.
Hello. Are you guys about to go to a break?
No, we got time.
Okay. Well, let me weigh in on this whole Shakespeare authorship question.
All right.
What the theory that, Eddie, you came across is a fairly recent one, and it goes into the idea that Elizabethan writers and Jacobean writers were collaborators on many things. There's a lot of evidence to suggest that Shakespeare helped other people on their plays. We know for sure that Thomas Middleton and possibly John Fletcher helped Shakespeare with some of his plays. What they're trying to say is that, there's no really one person. Well, I disagree with that. I'm a Stratfordian. I believe Shakespeare wrote his plays.
I didn't mean to start
I'm going to give you one piece of evidence, Jerry, refuting Edward de Vere. But the whole idea is that they cannot bring themselves to realize that a genius could come out of nowhere. That's where this all comes from.
Right.
There were no questions about Shakespeare's authorship until over 100 years after he was born, after he died. Like the 1730s, when you first hear anybody questioning his authorship. So, be that as it may, it's fun to come up with theories because people like to write books and sell them. So they come up with a theory and put it in a book and say, hey, listen to this. I got a new idea about who wrote Shakespeare's plays. The problem is that there's no contemporary evidence whatsoever pointing to it. And here's the problem with Edward de Vere. Shakespeare dies in 1616, right?
De Vere in 1604, yeah.
he was still writing plays up until 1614. Well, Edward de Vere died in 1603. How did he keep writing plays 10 years after he died?
Well, but then folks go to your first point about collaboration. It's like, well, maybe these were sitting around, and they, you can see how this might have been later. And
well, that's the ending. That's the ending of the movie Anonymous, and I will agree with you. Anonymous, you're scratching your head, going, "What the crap am I watching?"
Right. It's a fun movie, but it's kind
of
nuts.
Yeah. After Edward de Vere has died and his house is burned down, one of his friends comes by his house and discovers the trunk, opens the trunk, and look, all these manuscripts that were never published. So yeah, it's pretty fun.
Well, before I let you go,
Emmerich,
before I let you go, I was going to ask, what's your favorite Shakespearean play?
Wow, I have so many. Midsummer Night's Dream is probably my current favorite, but I love The Tempest. I love Hamlet. I love Macbeth. Much Ado About Nothing. The Kenneth Branagh Much Ado About Nothing is one of my favorite films.
Likewise. It's probably my favorite of these comedies. And I fell in love with that when I first read it, before I even saw it perform.
Yeah.
Because the back and forth between... I appreciate it. Like, the back and forth between Beatrice and Benedict. I'm like, I got to find a Beatrice. Some saucy minx with a sharp tongue.
Yeah. I didn't mean to start the great Shakespeare nerd.
Yeah, you brought all this up.
Jesus Christ.
No, I need a lady who speaks in poignards.
Let's just start with a lady.
Let's go to Sam. Hey, Sam, how are you going to add to this Stratfordian, Oxfordian debate here?
Hey, listen, I can add to it, but I got to stop laughing first. Eddie, boy, he's sitting there ready to go. Got that quick tongue. Hey, gentlemen, I'm knocking around Troy, and I'm literally in the parking lot here looking at the wonderful Troy Library.
Is it smoky down in Troy today, or is it just here in Montgomery?
No, man. It's just in Montgomery. But, yeah, man, that wreck this morning, that's the first thing I saw on the news. And you just hate it because, it's not hard to imagine just the horror. Everybody's whistling along, and a lot of good people just burnt up, all right, listen. Shakespeare. I can argue both sides of that. But basically,
yeah, Joe, you can argue both sides.
Hold on. It's
boring and not boring. I can argue either side.
Yeah, there you go. But here's this whole thing with Shakespeare. Never forget, you have got a bunch of Sambo. No, you've got a bunch of English majors out there, and they need to write doctorates and get them some money. And that's a good thing to investigate. Something that can never be proved. Now, there's a lot, and there's plenty of, they can look at his writing and his tone and say, well, his was related to such and such, but hey, man, it didn't. It was written over years, and there's going to be variations a little bit. But now, on the other side, here, this is important. Let me get this out there. Stephen King, he lived, okay? Mm-hmm. There's no way that someone should be able to write as good as he did and as much as he did, okay? So, yeah, Shakespeare, I believe he was the man, but there are people, real savants, that can really write and produce. But that was my 2 cents on that. But Richard III. Okay, for me personally, my ear, I can go in right to the King, Richard, Lear, especially the Henrys, and just watch them. Okay, every so often I'll get on a kick. Hamlet once every few years, but I have to study for that one.
Hamlet's great, man.
They say that. Yeah, man, they say it's the greatest prose ever written by man, and it's one of 6 long hours. Like I said, the library here has got a couple copies of it, straight from the man himself and straight from the bard. But it's if anybody's never been exposed to Shakespeare, it's very dense. The knowledge of the words contain very dense.
Well, I found it, and essentially it's a 1.5 hour one-man play by Ian McKellen called Acting Shakespeare, and he goes through he sets it up beautifully, provides context, and he goes through all the famous soliloquies and back and forth.
But that Richard, let me finish up with this. That Richard III, you're going to like, darn it, it's gone. Yeah, that's all I got, man. I think Shakespeare was the man. There are special people out there, but yeah, there was something. All right, let me get off here. I lost it.
All right,
gone. Gone away.
Well, you're not the only one. No, so look what you started, nerd.
Well, a real debate is 2-stroke or 4-stroke. That's a real debate.
Like getting the ball in the hole, like golf?
Yeah, we'll go there, nerd. Yeah.
Now you're just being gross. 272-9228. Hey, this part of the program brought to you by Josh and Leslie there at Dillon Rings.
Good folks. You know, he sent me some Funky Fresh medallions a while ago.
Some photos of some.
Yes.
Like what he's done in the past.
He showed me this one. It's as big as a compact disc, Joey. You probably got the same text. That thing is huge. That would take up most of my chest. Suddenly I want a Funky Fresh medallion now more than ever.
Yeah, one is like the size of a CD, literally.
And then it's got some stuff coming off the side.
Another looks like an American eagle you'd see on the American seal with like the arrows clasps in one, olive branch in the other, the dollar sign there, and that looks amazing. Like that's bright. Talk about ice.
It looks good.
Yep, folks, Josh Ryder is a true artist when it comes to custom design there at Dillon Rings. Go to Dillon Rings Book of Faces page.
Oh, yeah.
Just go to the Book of Faces, type in Dillon Rings, and you'll see what they can do for you. Of course, you can also always go to DillonRings.com and see everything they have to offer there, because beyond the great custom design work Josh Ryder can do, he can also do watch repair.
That's right.
Jewelry repair in general, on site. Like, he's an artist, but he's also, once you go back to his workshop, he's a bit of a mad scientist.
He is.
They do these things called spa treatments as well, cleaning, essentially. Also, appraisal.
Very important. If you got a new piece or you're going to do insure them, you need to know value.
Or stone replacement, maybe a pearl stringing even.
I got to check out that pearl stringing.
They can do all that there at Dillon Rings. And, of course, they have an amazing selection.
Of course.
From high-end jewelry items, the sort of thing you wear to, it's your finest fair, to a great big gala event. Or it could be, hey, I just want to look good, but it's a Monday. It's not a special day. I'm going to go to the beach.
I want to have some bling on the beach.
Right. So it's not going to break the bank. It'll still look great, though. They got it all there at Dillon Rings. So you can, again, always go to DillonRings.com or give them a call at 215-3669. But I really encourage you to stop by that showroom, 119 Brown Springs Road here in Montgomery, just off of Atlanta Highway. And be sure to tell Josh and Leslie that Joey and Eddie from News and Views in the Afternoon sent you. We'll be right back after this.
Joey Clark.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Shaw's Garden Center and Landscaping will help keep your yard looking its best as the seasons change. Fall is the time to freshen up your pine straw beds. Shaw's has pine straw bales available at cost, only $4.50 each. Pumpkins, wheat straw, mums, sunflowers, and much more. Shaw's can help fight annoying insects with their pest products. With 50 years of experience, the pros at Shaw's Garden Center can offer advice and tips to help get you growing. Visit 3295 Wetumpka Highway in Montgomery or like them on Facebook.
The holiday season is quickly approaching, and what better way to spread joy than by giving back to those in need? We're calling on all of you, our generous listeners, to make this holiday season extra special for those who might be struggling. Join us for our annual holiday food drive, benefiting the Heart of Alabama Food Bank. It's simple. Just gather those non-perishable food items like canned goods, pasta, rice from your pantry, and drop them off at any of our convenient sponsor locations across the river region. Together, we can make a difference. Together, we can feed families in need this holiday season. Starting October 30th, bring your donations to Physical Therapy and Balance Centers in Prattville, Rick's Jewelers, or Riverside Chevrolet. Donate what you can. It's Blue Water Broadcasting's annual holiday food drive.
When you're in a situation where you're basically looking at raising capital, you have to know people well enough that you're not just a snake oil salesman, right? So it helps when you're doing something you believe in.
Friend of What's Working, Brent Barkin, got to pick his next career based on what he knew he was good at and what he enjoyed doing. Listen to What's Working Saturday noon or find us online at what'sworkingcam.com.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From a little fender bender to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For over 35 years, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Our drought continues to expand. It could be several more days before we get some rain. But in the meantime, we're warm for late October with a high today and tomorrow in the lower 80s, lots of sunshine. Clear skies tonight, low 56. We'll be in the low to mid 80s on Thursday and Friday with more sunshine and continued dry this weekend. Highs in the mid 80s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
The premier place the River Region turns to for news, weather, traffic, and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader in the house. How you doing? And, well, we're getting more comments from the Romex Angler on the live
What's he
stream.
allowing?
Well, first he says Shakespeare makes a good fishing rod.
And the ugly stick. Other than the ugly stick, it's kind of junk.
And Eddie, is Joey's head that bulbous in person or just the camera?
Let's take a look.
I've never been described as having like a literally big head.
When your hair gets fluffy, our head gets out of shape a little bit. I get that too. But no, your head's not incredibly bulbous. It's just, you're talking about Shakespeare and he got all excited.
What do you mean he got excited? It seemed like he was insulting me.
No, that's what happens. You got excited. Your head swelled a little bit.
I'm just telling you. Like, hey, Duke, how you doing?
Damn Shakespeare right now, Joey. Because you done put me in a bad place, boy, with this Tucker stuff you've been playing now about these wars and stuff, creeping up. Everybody want to creep up to the main spot and everything and get their war on. Now,
well, I'm sorry you can't handle. Okay, I didn't know I was talking to a child who can't handle the truth.
No, man, I know this thing's serious now, and you put me in a bad place with this thing, man. Talking about this thing, playing it, and talking about Russia gonna get involved. This cat over here gonna get involved. And, you know, those people over there believe in fighting now. They ain't like us over here. Those people fight for real, boy. And you how you doing me like this today, man?
Because this is the truth. This is the news. This is what we're doing today.
Do you know any rich friends of yours in Montgomery that got one of those underground bunkers or something? Me and you can, and our families and everybody can go underneath the ground.
No. I try to keep my friends around the same income group. Really rich people, really poor people. I don't like y'all. I try to stay middle class.
You know?
And plus, if the nukes are going to fly, I'll just go out and watch the show.
I mean, the little stuff we had going on over here, you know, drive by there once in a while. I mean, these people serious over there, boy. Now, and we going to go over there and get involved.
We're already there. We're already involved.
Because this is what official Washington does. And it seems to be a bipartisan thing.
Yeah, the Uniparty, it's all about this.
You know, old people swole up over there, they mad, boy. So, what can we do besides watch?
Well, that's what we're doing. Yeah. And also, call your congressman, call your senator, be like, hey, we don't want a wider war in this world.
Not the worst idea
That's
in the
what
world.
you believe.
Yeah. Call them up.
Keep on pissing in the wind and blowing in your face and everything here. Contacting those people. Those people ain't going to do nothing. What they doing now, counting their money at the bank, you know, that's all they doing. You know, they're only at their desk checking to see what the balance is for today. That's all. Yeah. Y'all keep on sending them up there, people.
Well,
all right, I'm gone.
Appreciate it, dude.
Put me in a bad place, boy.
Well, check out, there's a new performance. If you got Apple TV, that might be a rich guy thing. Yeah. But if you got Apple TV, there's a led by Denzel Washington. He is Macbeth. I haven't watched it yet, but I've
Really?
seen clips. It's pretty good.
That big TV you got, you hadn't dropped what you were doing
No.
and run and watch that?
Dude, it shows like how good an actor is, because you mostly see Denzel in like
Denzel's the man.
What's like great Denzel movie? Remember the Titans?
Man on Fire?
Man on Fire, Training Day. Like we could keep going.
Yeah,
Like
Denzel's the man.
but you think, well, it's just modern movies. You see that guy and doing Shakespeare, he's freaking the best. I love listening to him. Like you can tell that guy's just what an actor.
Well,
Some
sounds
people
like you
got that charisma.
Sounds like you got your weekend planned already.
Not the weekend. Don't ask me what I'm doing this weekend. I know what I'm doing this weekend. I ain't telling you anybody else. Hey, Jay Tom.
J. Tom,
Hey.
what's up, buddy?
Hey, I just called in to tell y'all I'm good that looked on TV, and I just finally got up and dialed it in on YouTube, and really enjoying the show. And Greg Bedell needs to do this too. I hope he's listening.
Believe you me,
That's all.
I tell him all the time, J. Tom.
Appreciate it, Jay.
Okay.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you. Bye.
We do look good on TV.
Yeah, and well, something's in the works. I think Greg is game for this. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm playing with the camera.
You can adjust it on that screen.
Nah,
there.
he's got time for all that crap. I like,
Because you do look a little shiny, but that's the fluorescent above you. Like, I adjusted it a
maybe
little
I am
bit.
one of those shiny bastards like Mike Gates.
Yeah, Matt Gates.
Maybe I am.
And tell you what, folks, some people found that me referring to him as the shiny bastard
thought
is
it was-
crass.
I thought it was hysterical.
Like, we got to stop cursing, but I'm like, it's accurate.
When you see him coming down the hallway, and
Right.
he's just got...
And you see what he's done and the effect he has on other members of Congress? Like, how many times have they threatened to literally whoop him?
It hadn't slowed him down none, has it?
Right. And he just keeps on shining.
Right.
Shines bright like a diamond. I think that's actually his warm-up music before he goes out on the
Shine
floor.
on, you crazy diamond?
No, that's not Floyd. Like, I'm talking Rihanna.
Really?
Shine bright like a diamond.
Oh, wow. Look at you.
No, it's not my intro music. No, I think that's Matt Gates.
I can see that.
What would be your walk-in music?
Ooh, wow. I would like to go with something classic like Eye of the Tiger.
For years at Catholic,
Yeah.
it was Danger Zone, Top Gun.
See, that's...
And I'm like, no, our class demanded we change it.
Yeah, it should.
I think it got changed. It wasn't that much better. It got changed to Enter Sandman, which ain't bad.
That's not bad, but...
Running on the
after-
field, breaking the banner.
After so long, it gets cliche. When you're in the grocery store and you hear Enter Sandman on the music, that's when you go, oh, man, I'm old.
What's that one song? Is it Stealin'? I like the intro to that one.
Stealing when I should have been buying?
Yeah,
Uriah Heep?
yeah. Uriah Heep.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Uriah Heep Stealin's a pretty good walk-in
That's a good
song.
one. I forget who sings it, but I really like Return of the Mac. I have Sky play it when
Oh,
I do
yeah.
the show. I really like that. I like that beat.
And you like that song?
I do. I really like that.
That was a good one. Yeah, that song will always be fixed in my mind from a bachelor party weekend I
Oh,
went
yeah?
on. And the first song, when they picked me up from the airport, he's like, throw this on. And he turned it up loud. It was Return of the Mac.
There you
I'm
go.
like, all right, this is going to be a fun
Right, it
weekend.
sets the vibe, man.
And then I introduced that fella, George, to Steel Panther. If you know who that is.
Why did you do that?
He loved it.
His life would have been so much better had he never heard of
He'd
Steel
never
Panther.
heard of Steel Panther. And and he still brings it up to this day.
Probably because he's mad.
No, because it's the perfect bachelor party music.
Awful.
It really is. It's great. And those guys can actually play, too.
That's what's so sad, is they're actually pretty talented musicians. They just choose to suck on purpose.
And if you don't know what we're talking about when I say Steel Panther, especially if you're a lady, don't look it up. You're going to be offended. Or two. Maybe you like being offended.
There you go. It'll get your blood going either way.
More news and views in the afternoon after this quick break.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, But whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Hey y'all, it's fall at Mama's Produce, and we are your fall decor headquarters. We've got all sorts of beautiful pumpkins and unique gourds, corn stalks and hay bales, wheat straw, mums, and we're still selling vegetables. So check out our Facebook page. We're constantly updating it, and we still got all of our good jams and jellies and some really cool t-shirts that we got in. So check out our gift items as well. Come see us, 1154 South Memorial Drive in Prattville.
Everybody loves mamas.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Trustworthy, accurate, immediate. Carrying your voice across the river region. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the program. We got Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet on the phone. Hey, Ray.
Man, what a day. I have ran today. It has been crazy. I've been to Pike Road, Wetumpka. Then I went out to the other side of Otara County. Now I'm sitting here with the customer looking at colors of a floor trying to match it up.
Oh, nice.
It's been a good day.
You've been a busy man.
Always, every day. And it's, I've been over here, my phone's rang, 4 times since I walked in the door? and one of them was Bill Gillespie. I had to say, hey, Mayor, I have to call you back later. I got more important people to talk to.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Big timing.
What I was hoping is that he'd call me whenever I was on the phone with y'all, like two-way me in, and let him do the commercial.
That'd be great.
Yeah, but it didn't work out this time. So listen, October's still here. We still have all these great prices going on. So give us a call today at 285-8117. We'll come out and give you a free measurement and start figuring out what matches the house best.
Again, that number 285-8117. When you call 285-8117, be sure to tell them, well, you heard Ray here on with Joey and Eddie on the radio.
And when I call Bill back, I tell him you said, hey.
Hi, Bill.
All right. Thanks, guys.
See you, Ray.
Thanks, Ray. 272-9228. Did we learn anything today? Other than you're a very closeted gentleman when it comes to Shakespeare. You act like you don't like him.
I don't really like him.
See, there's you. There's you refusing. You're the one who brought all this up.
Ignorant to the case.
What?
Ignorant to the case of Shakespeare. I don't have.
It's no way to go through life, Eddie.
But I've gotten here 54 years, and I'm fine. Fine.
No, you call this fine?
Yeah, I do actually. Don't
what
wreck
we
my
do
world.
every day.
Don't wreck my world.
Is this fine?
This is good.
When you were in, say, your 30s, as you're raising a child, it's like, I'm going to be hanging out with an overgrown man-child named Joey on the radio. I kept
telling myself
5 days a week.
It's going to get better. It's going to get better.
Not with going through life so closeted when it comes to Shakespeare.
Yeah.
You ever been to the Shakespeare Theater?
Yeah, man. Sell houses out there. You kidding me? All around it. I gotta have some general knowledge of it. It's hard for me to sell a house.
Beautiful.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
Have you been to like a legit? They do all sorts of productions, but like a Shakespeare production there. It's like,
did they do
I think
one
the
at
last one I
Ephesus?
saw was Macbeth. It's really good. Seen
they-
As You Like It there, 12th night.
Did they do one at Ephesus that you know of? Because I've been
I
there.
don't know.
Been
At
there,
Ephesus?
Yeah. That's if he did one there. It's as close as I've come to Shakespeare.
You're on there. Who's this?
Oh, this is Jackson.
Hey, Jackson.
Hey,
how
Jackson.
You doing?
How you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty good. I have a question.
Ask away.
Right.
Do you have any recommendation for Shakespeare?
Recommendation?
Yes, like what to check out, you know?
There's like Henry V. That's good. Much Ado About Nothing's funny. You got a lady in your life, Jackson?
No.
Well, if you do get one, watch that with her. She's either gonna run away, but it's all right.
It happens.
Wait, you've never seen any Shakespeare before?
I've read like one.
Okay.
All right. You went ahead of me, Bo.
Well, last night I watched Othello, and it's Lawrence Fishburne, and it's pretty intense, actually. That's not a bad one to start with. It's only 2 hours. Goes by fairly quick. I would say Hamlet, but that one's like 4 hours long, so that's a bit of...
I can imagine watching something that's 4 hours long.
All right, you know, unless you got the Lord of the Rings extended edition on deck. But, yeah. Or you can go classic Romeo Juliet. I don't know. I like Henry V. It's kind of a man's, like, men fighting wars and winning and looking out for one another.
I see. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Jackson.
Have a good one. Oh, yeah, I did do Romeo and Juliet. I forgot about that crap. You had to do that in high school and junior high, and I think I was even in a play.
You were in Romeo and Juliet?
Yeah, well,
in
I was
high
an
school
extra.
production of
Yeah.
Romeo and Juliet? What did you play?
Well, I was an extra.
You're just an extra.
Just an extra. I probably literally, kind of like here, I walked backstage one time, they go, hey, what are you doing? I was like, I don't know. You want a job? Oh, okay, sure. What are you doing?
Yeah, as soon as they start with the how nows and thous and wherefores, Eddie's like, what the heck is
I'm
this?
Like, y'all guys having a seizure? Y'all smell toast? What's going on in here?
Mm.
I don't get all that. But hey, to each their own. To each their own. I'm sure I'm into weird stuff.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure too. And I know you're into Shakespeare, but you don't want to admit it. You're falling asleep to the be or not to be soliloquy every night.
What about Bugs Bunny? Was that Shakespeare?
Actually, some of it is.
All right, then I've had some exposure.
Kill the wabbit.
Yes.
Yeah, that's...
Duck season. No, wabbit season. No, duck. Was that Shakespeare?
Well, the game is afoot. Y'all stay tuned. I don't know if Greg's going to be here or not, honestly. If not, we'll still be here.
We'll be here.
Happy Hour is next.